future generations.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause I'm there for you.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
Slaves used to work all day, every day, with no pay. But they got free food, water, and shelter. Today, we work all day, nearly every day, and we get paid. But the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We're still slaves. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom.
I just know we found something so loud of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground when you say you left.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
I am struggling extremely with mental health issues, and I am trying to do that whilst being FTFE, and unfortunately, talking to flat earthers is quite painful.
All right, thank you, Craig.
Riverside, wait for me, wait for me.
Law. Nowhere in nature or in a controlled environment can we ever produce a volume
Brother,
outside of containment.
What's that?
Gas been seen or
What's that, brother?
Now let me see you drop it to the floor, drop it to the
Chicken banana, chicken banana, chicken banana, banana, banana.
I remember when I lost my mind.
All right, that's our little talented honey that can sing it out both ends. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. It's good to see everybody here tonight. Boy, I got a full house backstage right now, I see. We've got Geo Man, also known as Stinky Cash, also known as the fucking council's nightmare. This guy's shit is going viral all over the place as he starts to confront this Zionist spell that seems to have been taking place over America, I would say probably since the 80s, if not before. It's gotten really bad with what they call the neocons and all that. They're just fucking Zionists. But we can get into that later. We also have Ryan Burn, the corporate fiction, backstage right now. I'm going to bring them all up here in just a minute as soon as I'm in. We've got Party Poet, who claims that you can write a check to yourself for $5 million. He's probably going to kind of get into that tonight. I think that's a good thing because we got Ryan here that kind of understands a lot of this shit and can weigh in on it as to the legitimacy or, of the information. And anyway, first we've got Crashes 82 here. Ida Hat, Lori Houchin is here. Sue, good to see you, Sue. We've got Gordzilla here tonight. Here I am, autodidactic girl. That's kind of sexist now. You don't have to be just a girl. This is what I'm going to say about this too. The Jews are being misogynistic because they should refer to, they only talk about the Hebrews. They don't ever talk about the fucking Shebrews. And that's a bad thing. Okay, so let's get a movement going. Let's have some riots in the street. Let's burn our own shit over this. Okay, we got Gordzilla here tonight with us. We got Here I Am, KK Westbury, Conspiracy Crypto, Rick Swain, Lori Houchin, the Samoan Watchman, AB Normal, Dirty Ketchup here again with us tonight. We've got Felix Richard, Gordzilla. Boy, there's so many people in here tonight. Look at this. Liberty Guy off grid, Eldon Bean. We got, this is his little gal right here, man. This is his little gal right here.
I remember when I lost my mind.
That's for you, my man. That right there is for you, Eldon. I want you to know that. Let's see who else we got here. David Koresh and many, 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 many more. I'd be spending hours and hours going through all these people. Without further ado, let me bring a few of these people up here. We got Party Poet, we got Ryan, and we've got Jeff. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. Absolutely fantastic evening. Looks like this is quite the panel, so it should be a good show.
I was just wondering who cut me off from not being able to post comments on your show, Dave?
Oh, I did not know that you were barred from doing comments at all.
Neither did I, until I posted a comment and then I went to check a few hours later and it wasn't there, and so I posted another.
Is it a comment under the already recorded video? You're not talking about in the chat, right?
Right.
Right. I don't know. Nobody has the power to delete comments other than myself and YouTube, and I don't delete comments. So It had to have been YouTube. Perhaps something in the wording of what you said, or maybe even the information that YouTube decided, nah, they seem to do that.
Yeah, a lot of comments go to the spam folder for review if you use the wrong words.
Yep, that's true. Shit, YouTube would just not let people comment on a lot of my shorts that I do and stuff. I got people telling me all the time, I can't comment. Like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's a big joke. Well, that's why I call it YouTube. You know, that's the reality of it. It's a big censorship, fascist bunch of shit, you know. And this is the thing too. It's really a dishonest platform. You look at some of these fucking people and you have to wonder, how in the hell do you have, you know, like what is it, FTFE, right? Old nose picker. He's got, I think, like 57,000 subscribers, right? And he don't get many more views than I do, and I've only got about 3.3 thousand subscribers. It took me 3 years to get that. 4 years. It took me a long time to build
You
up.
get no love from the algorithm there, Sav.
No, none at all. But
That's
in any
the thing.
case, it doesn't generate much more views. I mean, if you look at it ratio wise, subscriber count to view count, I'm way ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying?
And I've got 16,000 subscribers, and I only get a couple hundred views on every video.
Right. Yeah, it's just based on they just hold back notifications and all kinds of shit. There's got to be some kind of a little demonic mafia sitting in a room somewhere with a list.
I think with like the bigger channels, like even in the flat Earth community, a lot of those guys, like you know, on the flat Earth side, not the globe troll side. You know, they've got 50, 100,000 subscribers and they still get the same amount of views as you. And I think it has to do with the fact that your subscriber base is organic and it's like the subscribers you get. So if you look at your subscriber to view ratio, you get about more than a third of your subscribers watch. And that's pretty insane viewer to subscriber rate for sure by any metric. So that's why you piss off, that's why I think you got people pissed off at you because they're like, oh, he's just over here talking about this shit. And he actually has people watching and interacting. They don't like it. So
no, it's sort of like you get so pissed off, you're going to call the sheriff. What? How's that going to prove your Earth's the globe, idiot? What is that?
And Saab, you're very consistent. You know, you go live all the time at the same time and people come back, you know?
Yeah. I try to sometimes go earlier, you know, so I can catch some of my overseas friends and shit like that. You know, they don't have to just rely on the replay, but you know, this is my comfortable time and it also keeps me within a limit, you know, especially during the week. I know if I go 3 hours, I got to get off here and go to bed. That's it. I can't be fucking hanging on here because otherwise I will. I'll keep this fucking party going 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, because you start getting into so much shit. But then there's other nights where there's like hardly nothing, you know, nothing really jiving. You know what I'm saying?
You should try to plan like a 24-hour nonstop live stream or something like that. That'd be nuts.
Wow.
I don't know how I do with that, man.
Maybe 12 hours.
Yeah, that'd probably be about my limit. I'm in an age where I really enjoy sleep.
Like Paul on Sleep. That dude streams for like 5 hours straight.
Oh my god, yeah. Is he still going? I mean, he came on here one night.
Yeah, he is. He's I think he's still going. I think he's got I think Keith still deals with him occasionally, you know, El Piro.
Yeah.
That's how I figured out he was actually still. He got his channel nuked. He's got a new channel.
Oh shit.
And yeah, you know, when everybody watched him get away with traveling, you know what I mean? That blew him up. But then, man, that guy, I'm not going to sit up here and talk bad about, but man, he's
no.
Yeah.
I think so. You know, it was a bad vibe pretty much that came about. I think from there, you know, and on that panel, it was just a lot of just infighting. It wasn't really any information. And I was like, well, this is kind of a waste of time. All they're doing is picking on to Jack Talcott. You know,
it's a Jerry Springer show. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. Hey, look, it's Tony Drake.
It is Tony Drake.
On, Tony.
So, Party Poet, maybe you can go ahead and tell us start at the beginning. How does this, you were saying the other night that a person can go ahead and write themselves a check for $5 million. How do you do this?
Well, apparently somebody went and read way too far into the Sestak Trust Fund to say that it doesn't work. Instead of simply going on the website that I told you to go on to, Legal Ibis, which basically has a ton of success stories.
Right.
What is the trust fund there, Party Poet? What does it consist of?
Well, when you're born,
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
when you're born, they basically split you in half, and they kill half of you, and they give the other half a lot of money.
That's not exactly right, but that's
Well,
not
no,
even what I'm asking. I'm saying, what does it consist of? Like, what do you think is sitting in? There is a public trust. That's 100% right. But do you
Okay.
think there's just an account sitting there with a bunch of money in it?
Yeah, actually,
There is
you're allowed to find out.
You're roboting out, Party Poet.
No,
Yeah.
you're in your.
There is no money.
Am I what?
That's the.
You're
There is no money.
Hold
Oh,
on.
go ahead,
You're
sorry.
you're roboting, Party Poet. Nobody heard anything you said, just like parts of words.
Oh, damn.
Just say it again. Say it again.
Okay. Basically, there's a few websites, but there's one that I recommend because he did a great job of creating.
I mean, are you answering
And,
Ryan's question?
of the trust fund? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you think there's an account sitting there with funds in it?
You're allowed to, and on top of that, you're allowed to find out exactly how much funds there are when you're 18 and 65. Other than that, they don't have to tell you how much there is, but it's more than you can spend.
So I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this because I know my dad wants to get to other stuff. But
No, I mean,
all right.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can go
Okay.
on this for a little bit, and then we get over to the Zionist takeover of America. But yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So let me ask you this question real quick, Party Poet.
Okay.
Do you know what this system is? Like, okay, so what are Federal Reserve notes? Let's start there.
That's what we call money.
That's not money. No, they're promissory notes.
Promissory notes. Yeah, promissory
notes. Debt securities, debt obligations. Now, it's a contract technically. The Treasury's been independent since 1920 so that it can represent both parties of the contract, that being the International Monetary Fund, as it's known now, and the debtor United States. So the treasurer represents the IMF, the Secretary of Treasury represents the United States as proxies for the contract. You'll notice every Federal Reserve note has two signatures on it. The reason I bring this up is because it's a debt obligation and it requires security. Now, do you know what the security for the Federal Reserve note is?
You and me.
How so?
Well, they put us up as collateral for the debt. They give the average person the money, and then they forget to tell them that they got the money.
It's not money. There is no money. It's credit.
Well,
okay, look at it. It's paper credit. Let's
At
put it
best,
this way.
it's legal tender, but don't call it money.
It's not money. Yeah, it's legal tender. It's paper credit, right? So what secures the paper credit is the mortgage of your property rights. It's right in March 9th, 1933, House Congressional Record, page 83. It says the money will be worth 100 cents on the dollar because it represents a mortgage on the what is it? Because it's backed by the credit of the nation. It represents a mortgage on all the homes and other property of all the people in the nation. So they mortgage your right to property. There is no money. What it is your future sweat equity and the promise of your labor and the ability to generate revenue from the property. All of your property is held in trust as collateral. That's what the public trust is. Social Security number. All your registrable property is linked to the Social Security number. Okay, and that's so it can be held as collateral for the public debt, and the corporate state, well, rather the banks pretending to be courts, can generate revenue or debt obligations off of the property, off the use of the property and misuse of the property. Now, the reason I bring this up because, okay, let's go this. So we established that sweat equity backs the Federal Reserve note, which is not money. All right. So it's only generated by promises in the first place. So when you go get a mortgage or any other type of loan, how does the banker give you funds?
You're asking me?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Basically, they give you money from your trust fund and then tell you to pay it back.
So do you think that there's funds sitting in this account prior to the securitization of your signature? Do you think there's
There's
funds?
basically, well, let's see. There's $3 million right off the start when you're born. The moment you're born, they take $1.5 million from your mother's and $1.5 million from your father's trust fund to start yours, and then afterwards it just grows after that because
that's not what happens. What happens, the states and the federal corporation are able to collect a certain amount of funding for the future administration of you from the mortgage, but it's only generated once they mortgage you, right? So you're right when you say the birth certificate creates a split title to the estate, okay? And it leaves you as the equitable title holder, right? Or not equitable, legal title holder. Basically, you have the right to use the property, but you do not own any of the property of the estate. It's held as collateral. So what happens, and I've got this backstage real quick, Dad, if you want to pull that up, and I'll show him. This is 31 Code of Federal Regulations, Section 363.27. What do I need to know about accounts for minors who have not had a legal guardian appointed by a court? Now, what is a minor? We'll look at this real quick. A minor means an individual under the age of 18 years, obviously, okay. It also means the term minor is also used to refer to an individual who has attained the age of 18 years but has not yet taken control of the securities contained in his or her minor account. That original security is generally your birth certificate, stuff like that, right? But there's not a fund sitting there. So we'll go back and we'll look at how the banker attains the funds, right? So you're not allowed to access the minor account. The custodian is the one who's supposed to access the minor account. And so what they do, they have to have an existing primary Treasury Direct account. Okay, so the bank has a primary existing Treasury Direct account. And then the custodian must use his or her primary Treasury Direct account as a portal to open and access the minor's account. It says right here. It says securities contained in the minor's account will be registered in the name and social security number of the minor and either sole owner, blah, blah, blah. Right? So what that means is you sign a loan contract of whatever, whether it's a mortgage, the bank takes and uses its primary account to access your minor account and then exchanges the promissory note, which is a negotiable instrument, for the equivalent amount of negotiable instruments in Federal Reserve. Those Federal Reserve notes are not sitting there. They're generated by your signature.
Mm-hmm. No.
And so the bank acts as the middleman. Okay. Then the Fed, the Treasury, or the Fed through the Treasury will charge the bank, like say 3% or whatever the Federal Reserve interest rate is right now. That's the price of currency, not money, because it's not money. Price of currency. And so say it's 3%. Then the bank will take and exchange the promissory note you signed for Federal Reserve promissory notes of equivalent, value, and then turn around and give it to you as if it was theirs in the first place, which violates every principle of contract law, the fundamental principles of contract law and consideration. And they'll pretend like it was theirs originally and then charge you interest above the original interest rate that has already been charged. And so say it was 3%. Now they're going to charge you 6% so that the national bank, the one that's doing the business with you, gets 3%, and then the Fed gets 3%. But there are no funds just sitting in an account anywhere. They have to be generated by the signature, because all Federal Reserve notes are the physicalized representation of your credit based on your sweat equity. It actually takes your promise to generate them. That's how they parasitically feed off of us. Does that make sense?
No, actually, it does. Well, what? Basically, what you're doing is you're mixing in some truths, and then on top of that, what the oligarchy did is muddied the waters really bad, and you really are pitching what you would end up getting if you end up talking to a lawyer. If you basically stop talking to lawyers or looking at
I
what.
don't talk to lawyers. I know how the law works, and I'm telling you, this is how they have to do it because there's no money.
Yeah,
And
I kind of agree with Ryan here, and I want to ask you a question when you're done.
There is no money, okay, and the government has no credit of its own. It only has what it can secure and promise to extract from the persons under its administration. Okay, so it actually takes mortgages to generate series of Federal Reserve notes. So the initial mortgage of your birth certificate, right, or of you, created a series of Federal Reserve notes. Sure, right? But that's not just sitting in an account somewhere waiting for you to collect it. That was dispersed to the people who are going to be charged with your administration. And that's part of their consideration as being part of the scheme. Okay. And so when you go access credit, when you go get a loan, you're really just using a third party intermediary to generate negotiable instruments in the form of legal tender. That has been considered legal tender. You take your own promissory note. Well, they take your promissory note and act as a custodian to exchange. I just read it to you. It's right there in the 31 CFR. And when you know how the system's set up, that's how it's right there, black and white. It's how it works.
Okay. The way it was explained to me is when you're born, you're given a QSIP number, and every time you do anything, you're given a new QSIP number, and these QSIP numbers basically are stacked up, whether you use them or not, and then basically that's what they throw into, or they play with on the stock market. They don't play with your name; they play with numbers.
I know.
Just account numbers.
What you're trying to do, what you're claiming, is actually accessing your own credit with the Federal Reserve, which they require a third-party intermediary. Point is the big distinction is there's not funds sitting there. You're trying to securitize your own signature to generate or convert it into negotiable instruments or promissory notes that are considered legal tender, which would be the Federal Reserve note. And there's only one way to theoretically do that. So, and I know it. So I want to hear what you have to say. And even I wouldn't do it for several reasons. One, it's a benefit. Two, it still puts you under administration as a 14th Amendment citizen. There's really no upside to doing it. But if you were to do it, there would be only one way. And what do you think that way is?
I just know what I was told to do, and I went and did it. But what I was kind of hoping.
Are you a billionaire right now? You have like millions of dollars in your account or whatever?
Yeah.
That you have access to?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Okay. Let's put it this way. Saul, yesterday you played a whole bunch of initiation videos, and I'm kind of hoping I can talk you into playing 5 minutes of mine and then having Ryan pick it apart the first 5 minutes, and then basically we'll go from there. If you want, we can listen to more of the video and have Ryan pick it apart and tell me where I'm going wrong. But it would be a heck of a lot easier,
Okay. Before we do that, let me explain to you theoretically the only way to access your own credit is if you create a trust. All right.
Which you already have.
Okay, no, but you create the trust, and the trust opens a primary account with Treasury Direct. Then you, in your private capacity, your personal capacity, create a promissory note, a mortgage or a promissory note of some other kind, and you give it to the trust. You convey it to the trust, and the trust goes and takes it and uses their primary account as a portal to access the minor account associated with your Social Security trust, right? And then exchanges that promissory note that you just made for Federal Reserve notes, which is how, because there isn't anything sitting there, it's actually the promissory note that creates it. Okay. And then you take that and through some sort of arrangement with the trust are able to take it as a loan. Now, with that being said, there's still credit has been extended and there's still an interest rate that has to be paid. So the only way you could successfully do that is if you perpetually discharge that same promissory note with a new promissory note regularly forever.
That's actually done for you by the government, who's constantly playing with your funds on the stock market.
All right.
So,
So
this video you want to go over is the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but weight you already are, the one that's on your page?
Right. There's only one video there.
All right. Well, that's the one I was wanting to make
But
sure.
before we get to that video, do you mind if I interject real quick?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So Ryan, I think this is the first time I've ever been on a live stream with you, and
it is. Yeah.
Quite. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Good friend of your father's, and I'm quite impressed actually with all the stuff, because you clearly understand what you're saying, and you're not relying on bullshit. But what I've noticed is on the back of the Social Security card, like you've got your Social Security number on the front of the card, but there seems to be a serial number on the back of the card that corresponds with serial numbers on Federal Reserve notes. Is that right? Or can you speak to that at all?
Okay, so what the Social Security is essentially they mortgaged March 9th, 1933. Like I said, House Congressional Record, page 83. They admit to mortgaging, and I actually have a law review that also further expounds on that. It's called Fiduciary Foundations of Administrative Law by Evan J. Criddle from UCLA. It's a law review. And what happened was Congress and the president acted as proxy settlers because the 14th Amendment citizen is a trust office to begin with. It was made for the newly freed slaves. It has no protections under the Constitution. The first 8 amendments, Maxwell v. Dow, tells you that they're not guaranteed those protections because it is a creature of the federal corporation. It is a trust office. So because of that, and because the 14th Amendment citizen is under the administration of the federal government, they were able to essentially invoke power of attorney sort of powers, but it's called administrative powers, and mortgage your property rights because they go, oh no, we can't fund ourselves. So it's an existential crisis. And so it's for the benefit of all of these estates under our guardianship that we mortgage them in order to facilitate economic activity, right? Commerce. So they mortgaged them. Now, after they mortgaged them, there had to be surety for the mortgage. So you have the mortgage, but you have to have some kind of insurance for the mortgage. Okay. That's what, so they passed the Social Security Act. Social Security account, the Social Security number, is meant to link all of your registrable property, your land, your car, your boat, your children, to this public trust so that it can be held in trust, because you're only the trustee of your own estate as a 14th Amendment citizen. You're not only the trustee, you're chattel property. It's not even your estate in their eyes. You're just an agent of the debtor principal that is the United States. And you're caring for a decedent estate because you as the state citizen are considered missing presumed debt. Okay, so they don't even recognize that aspect of you. They only recognize the debtor agency enfranchisement, which is the U.S. citizen. And so they do this so that all your registrable property can be tied to that account, because that account is the underwriting investment account. That account is what acts as surety for all the commercial paper they want to generate from the property, including you. So you got to say you got a license plate and you got a driver's license. You're driving down the road. The cop pulls you over and he creates an attachment to the trust estate for for misuse of the property, because it's not your property. You hold it in trust and you're employed by the state to use it via your driver's license. You have to use it the way you're told to use it. That's the motor vehicle code. So they count on you not doing that. And then these road pirates that are enforcing compliance by creating an attachment for the misuse of it and generating their own debt obligations. But that attachment has to be tied to the underwriting trust, which is Social Security. So in order for their commercial paper to hold any sort of value, which not value is not the right word, but for it to be secured so they can bundle it together, they bundle all these traffic tickets and everything together and sell it to institutional investors. And that's why each municipality has its own bond rating. So it does correlate to the Federal Reserve note in the fact that it's secure. That is the security right there. That represents the mortgage. That's what all your registrable property is tied to. And so, yes. And one would speculate, because unless you're at the highest levels and have access to it, that the red number on the back of the Social Security number is the account. It's the account number.
Because I noticed that number does seem to be correlated with the numbers on the Federal Reserve notes.
Absolutely.
Minus the letter that begins the serial number that represents which branch, which Fed branch it is.
Right.
So, like for me, I'm a B, because I'm a New York Federal Reserve.
Gotcha.
But this is pretty incredible, actually.
What was
I
that?
know that the U.S. is broken down into 10 zones.
In 12 districts, yeah.
12 districts, yeah.
Actually,
And 10
10.
social
I was
security
told.
zones. No,
I
he's
was
talking
told.
about the social security
Okay.
zones. Yeah, 10 social security zones, 12 Federal Reserve districts that started as land bank districts. There's a series of federal overlays, but you have to contract into them. For instance, like the definition of resident, because resident is short for resident alien. I can prove that 7 ways from Sunday. And even in the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code, the word, we can get the word resident is defined as one who resides in this state and establishes that he or she is legally present in the United States. You establish by contract or compact, and the legal presence indicates that you're actually legally present in a foreign jurisdiction from the state. And it says it right there, black and white, in the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code. So they created an overlay, but they can't erect the jurisdiction within the state because it violates Article 4 of the Constitution. And so they have to create an overlay that you can contract into. And that's what you do with this. And again, that goes back to why would you want to accept the credit from the Federal Reserve? Because then that's placing you in that jurisdiction. Screw that. I don't care.
And at what levels do people actually understand this? You know, a bank teller doesn't understand this. A cop on patrol doesn't understand this. Like, at what level are they actually operating this? You know what I'm saying?
Judges, DAs, prosecutors, the people who run the banks. That's the level.
Because this is so complex that only a fucking Jew could come up with this.
And maybe we're Jewish, Dad. Who knows? It's
I mean, it's impressive that you understand it so well. I don't think you could have invented it, though.
Oh, I know I could not have. But that's why I don't even think it's human or man that did it.
No, I don't think it's human. I don't think it's of a human at all. No,
it has to be of Satan, and Satan deals with contracts, right? And in all the movies, it's always Satan making you sign a contract, right? It's
absolutely
some kind of Faustian shit, man.
But it's the synagogue of Satan that's who's operating this. I mean,
I
mean, look what happens when you opt out of it.
What happens when you opt out of it?
Yeah.
Or how do you? Let's start with how do you opt out of
it? The same way Germany did.
Which is
we kick the banks out. Yeah.
Knock out the fucking usury banks.
Gotcha.
Don't use them anymore. Interest-free loans to the people. Yeah, I mean this is how it was working, and they prospered. They fucking prospered.
Yeah.
And they did not want everybody seeing this. They want, they're evil. Look what they're doing. Oh, the Jews declare war on Judea or on Germany. You know, I mean, the whole thing was, and what they attacked too was all their vices. They didn't like that either. Everything that was controlled by the Jewish mafia was immediately crushed by the new regime. No more child prostitution, no more sex change operations, no more narcotics, no more this vice that was controlled by the Jewish mafia.
Well, it's truly satanic for this one specific reason, because the very initial, like the Bible is a trust indenture, and all law is biblical. Even Brandon Joe Williams begrudgingly admitted that all law, especially trust law, goes back to the Bible. And really everything essentially is trust law. Even the creation of a government, you're creating a trust by compact. In our case, with the Constitution, it's a trust, right? And so that's why citizenship is generally a trust office. But with that being said, what's happened is some entity or some group of entities have taken the original trust. Okay. So for instance, like God granted you your soul and your free will primarily and your body, right? And gave you dominion, not ownership, but dominion is trust. And that's what allodial actually means. Allodial, which is absolute title, comes from the Norse othala, which means ancestral inheritance. And ultimately, it stems back to the idea that it's an oath, a compact between you and God to have dominion over a specific plot of land and to be a good steward of it. But it's still not ownership. It's just, as far as everyone else is concerned, the only person who has a superior interest in it than you is God. And so you might as well have absolute ownership.
And this is why they... Oh, sorry. This is why they came up with that language on the bills. In God we trust.
100%. You got it. I say it all the time. That's what they mean, is they say these contracts are are sanctioned by God because you entered into it of your own free will. You consented. It's binding. Essentially, in God we trust is God's not going to save you. That's what they're telling you. This trust is created by the laws of God, by God's law, but it's not, because they committed fraud, collusion, coercion, misrepresentation of material facts by agents of the state to mislead you that you had to enter it. So it's actually just vitiated by fraud. But that being said, some dark demonic group of entities saw the original trust that God has with mankind and created a counterfeit or a series of counterfeit and inverted versions of this trust. And now what we have today is a series of national trusts, right, where all the people are actually persons or trustees under administration. And that was the major step they had to do. Now what they're trying to do is unify all the national trusts into one world trust under the stewardship of, or under the administration of the banks, the Bar Association, and various other people. So yeah, that's how satanic it is.
Jesus Christ.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
forgive me.
Go ahead and, let's get into this video of Party Poets.
So, sorry, Dave, can you play it at 3/4 speed? Because I thought that everybody listened at double speed, and then turns out everybody likes it a bit slower. So if you could play it at 3/4 speed, that would be a good idea.
All right, well, let's try it. I've got closed captions on too, so that could probably help. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, permit me, please, to claim your attention for a moment.
I like how they have to close caption with music playing.
Nothing is real.
Well, according to the introduction, I'm not going to cover every single lie you fell for. I'm just going to cover the top 3 for now. Your money, the fact that the way the law...
Yeah, that's fast.
That is fast.
We could definitely slow it down like you suggested. It's like the original video was at double speed.
Yeah. No, that was why you talk so fast. Listen, that was like that Micro Machine dude. Did you remember those commercials?
I remember that guy. Yeah.
Oh my God, he had like the fastest. He had the fastest talking. He had the world record for it.
I remember that guy. Yeah, that guy made cameos in TV shows and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and this guy was amazing. He just like rattle shit off so fast. It was like he made wits that sound like a mongoloid, man.
Witsit does talk pretty fast at times.
It's like, dude, slow, kick back with the Adderall, right? You'll be all right.
Has been written, you can only go to jail for a crime if there was violence. If there wasn't, they had no right to put you in jail. If you currently know someone who's sitting in jail and the crime had no violence, you can get him out inside a couple of weeks. And on top of that, why you live on a flat earth, but they lie to you about the pretty blue ball. I'm going to touch on that a little bit, and hopefully you'll do your own research afterwards. I'll also cover why the lie, since they had a perfectly good reason. But let's get into your money. Now, according to the way the laws have been written, when the United States went bankrupt, it said that no one has to carry any money around. And then afterwards, a whole bunch of countries liked the idea that you can go bankrupt and start collecting money off people's trust funds because you give them, let's say, between 3 and 500 million. Then they drop dead, and then the country simply sucks the money out because you never spent a dime. Turns out, all you have to do is fill out a few pieces of paper, and they're willing to give you your money back as fast as you know how to suck it up. And I'm going to cover all that pretty quick. Now, what we're going to start with, this is the home of legalitis. Everything here is absolutely free. You first give them your email, then they send you a confirmation in your email, then afterwards you confirm, and everything here is good to go. We're going to first go into forums where basically it says how to pay bills with a coupon. A coupon is anything that you have to cut or it has a perforated edge. And it sounds a lot like when you used to go grocery shopping. Well, that was a coupon too. But here's a coupon that you didn't even know about, and I'll get to in a second. Now, again, they have videos, what you're supposed to do, and then they have a few success stories that cover every single situation that they covered in the videos, a quick recap. But now, here's a lady who basically said that she didn't like the conditional acceptance letter because it was too rash, brash, and crude, and it just wasn't her freaking style, man. So she basically has to do this every single month. Now, those are all the UCC codes that a company breaks when they send you a bill. You literally have to remind the company that they're breaking these laws, because when this person made a deal with Capital One in the beginning, the contract she signed said that they're only going to take the money from her trust. And then they start changing the rules on you on the fly, and you didn't even know it when they send you a statement with a coupon on the bottom. Most folks fill it out, and they have no idea that the company is officially double dipping, actually triple dipping. I'll explain that a bit later. Now, basically, here's this guy who says, here's a letter from the lady who says, I do this every single month. And they knock it off every single month. Feel free to pause the video, take a good look, and we're gonna now move on to a fella who did literally everything he was told. And basically, here, when you look on your credit card on the phone, it will always at the bottom where it says no payment due or make a payment, it will always have a date here, the next billing cycle, to be technical. Even if your credit card has a full balance ready to go, it'll still have a date in this area. Go take a look. Now, this guy here never has to make another payment ever again, which is what you get when you send them all the paperwork, make a few phone calls, and straighten the BS out for them. And then basically he just has to wait until the next billing cycle. His credit card gets reinstated to a full balance. He can spend it, and they never ask him for a dime ever again. At this point here, when I first saw this, I decided to download the whole website. And here in coupons, I have literally every single UCC code that gets violated when you receive a bill. And I have them in two formats. Option A is you can read about it just the way it's written in legalese. Or option B, if you, like I, had no clue what this was or what they were talking about, here's a fella by the name of Coach MT.
And if you want to be part of the tribe where we got all the really good stuff in there, then you can do that. The link is in the description box down below. So UCC 3-311 is accord and satisfaction by use of instruments. So this is just some of the things that are going on inside of that code. You can go look this up, all right? I'm not here to read to you. If you need to, pause the video, all right? Pause the video and read it. And I'm going to go through some things in every code and kind of point some things out, all right? So this is now story time in kindergarten. So pause the video, read, hit play, okay? Now we're going to talk about something here called the instrument. Inside of...
Now, basically, I'm not going to play you the whole video, but if you want, this guy here literally explains why they're breaking these laws and just how badly they are breaking them, why they're breaking them, how you can stop them from breaking them, all the books you can buy to help you figure this stuff out, because you can do it. Now, we're going to go and take a look in Sestakey Trust. By the way, as far as coupons go, I also have literally everything you possibly could use as far as this goes, as far as coupons. Literally explaining it with either papers or a video, your choice how you want to absorb the information. Now, we're going to go into Sestakey Trust. Sestakey Trust, in short, the Skippy Dippy, they never told you, but when you're born, they split you in half. There's the part of you that has the all caps, which is all on your ID, and then there's the other you that they gave the trust fund to. And that person's name starts with Sestakey Trust, or Sestakey, and then your name, Bob Smith, or whatever. And basically, this is how they're able, as long as they don't never told you about it, they can continue lying to you about it non-stop. I'm having a little bit of problems here with my player, mostly because I'm a targeted individual and folks want to make it as hard as freaking possible at every step of the way. Here's the lady.
So, how many people here knows what the SAAB after 1666 was? Anybody know anything about the SAAB after 1666 or the SAAB Trust Fund? Nobody knows about that? A little bit. Yes. All right. She does. So when you're born, your mom and dad usually fill out a birth certificate, right? That birth certificate is taken to the registrar, and about 9 days afterwards, you're recorded in the registry at your state, at the capital of your state. They create a corporation in your name in all capital letters. Okay? It is not you. It is an all capital name corporation. That corporation is then funded by the necessity after 1666, and you get $1.5 million from your mom and $1.5 million from your dad's seeded money from their trust funds to start yours. Over the next 2 years, at least $300,000 of that. And every time your parents...
Dude, do you listen to everything like at double speed or some shit like that?
That's actually, yeah.
Why? Are you? I mean, what's the hurry?
I guess I always thought everybody listens to everything at double speed, so I made mine at double speed.
No,
but if you want, go ahead and slow it down a bit more.
Slow it down again. I can only
tear
imagine
this.
how fast this is when I'm playing it at regular speed, which was already really fast.
I'm already going to
It's like
tear this
double
apart.
speed. Let's pause it right here and have Ryan.
Yeah. I was getting ready for that.
Interject. Yeah.
Yeah. So several things, right? One, first and foremost, you don't want to be in. So set to KV means the one who lives. Okay. It is, again, a beneficiary situation where you have no power, which is why they want you in it. It allows them to administer and regulate all of your property. So again, discharging debts, which they're supposed to do, but they show me. Okay, so you found a website. I guarantee you'll never meet somebody that has actually done this, and there's a couple of reasons why.
I can show you thousands of people that have tens of thousands, hundreds. Probably.
That you personally know, that you've
No,
actually seen the evidence. Oh, okay.
I've spoken. I've spoken maybe to hundreds, but there's tens of thousands of success stories on the website because every website for the
they're
people
selling stuff. But go ahead.
No,
yeah.
Basically, there are two people involved: the beneficiary.
Oh, I'm very well aware.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? First of all, they should do that because of HJR 192 and taking us off the gold standard later under Nixon. However, the way that they circumvent that is very important because there were at one point in time 2 citizenships in this country. Okay, there was the state, the one of we the people, the state citizen, which was the creator of government, the grantor of the trust, and above it. And I can prove that. It's in Chisholm v. Georgia, 1783. The other one was created in 1868 by the 14th Amendment, well, actually by the Civil Rights Act, and then made permanent by the 14th Amendment, and that is the U.S. citizen, which is a creature of the federal corporation, is an enfranchisement, and it is such so it was made for the newly freed slaves so that the government claimed to be able to give privileges and immunities for those who did not have common law rights. And just to clarify, they didn't have common law rights not because they were black, but because they were in a state of dependency. And if you watch anything that I ever do, that's what it all comes back to. It's Blackstone says a state of dependence will oblige the inferior to take on the will of or of him upon whom he depends. That's it. Okay, it's natural. That's common law. Common law recognizes that creates a state of administration, and now you get pulled out of common law. So with that being said, in order for you to, first of all, they will not do it. And if it has ever happened before, it's just because they don't want to expose the scam. But this is how they circumvent it, because you have to actually be one of we the people for them to owe you anything. As a 14th Amendment citizen, you are a agent of the insolvent debtor principle that is the United States corporation. They don't recognize the estate as yours. This is the biggest thing all the acceptance for value people get wrong. When they're dealing with you, it's not your estate. You are employed by the U.S. You are an agency of the United States corporation managing a decedent estate, because when you do not claim your estate within the first 7 years of your life, they presume you missing, or you're considered missing, presumed dead. And do you know what the word eschat means? Eschat? Well, you should learn it if you don't, because your estate eschats to the state. What eschat is when an estate is left intestate, meaning the heir or the owner of the estate dies without a will by operation of law for like 1,000 years or more. This is the way it's always been. The estate goes to the crown, and now here the state for administration. And the state has to, if there's no heir or no family member relative to claim it, then they keep it and they administer it, the property of it, and they hold it in trust, because corporations and governments can only ever hold things in trust. All right. So in order for you to actually ever be able to even try to accept something for value, as if you're owed some just compensation for the use of your property, you have to be living. And a 14th Amendment citizen is not living in the eyes of the law. They are dead to the law. That is why I know it does not work.
Dave, can you do me a favor and run to the exactly 20-minute mark of the video and play it at 3/4 speed?
20-minute mark?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get up there.
So how do you become a non-14th Amendment citizen and an actual living human being?
You claim your estate and expatriate on the record. You establish your house. Well, not in that order. You establish your house and seal, and then you expatriate, which has to be done on the county, in the county register, county recorder. And then you expatriate from the United States and claim your estate, and with a lawful claim of title. And then you establish a private express trust, which is a natural person under common law that pre-exists government. And because of Article 1, Section 10, they cannot actually, statutes and codes cannot cause you to fail to perform the obligations of the contract. So when you create the private express trust, you throw a clause in there, bury it in the middle, and you say that this the res of the trust is not to be used for public commerce, right, and any public commercial activity whatsoever, and it is only supposed to engage in private trade and barter, and that's it. And because of that, when any property of the trust and you as the trustee, that immediately gets rid of license plate, license. It immediately gets rid of everything. Commerce means international or interstate commerce. It means dealing with foreign nations. That's what the word commerce means. Trade is domestic. And I can show you that actually in a treatise. It's very simple. And so when you say shall not engage in public commerce, and this is what I've been talking to my dad about if he's interested in it also, I can show him. I'm working on the trust instrument right now as we speak. I have been all day today. And it removes it basically, so the cop pulls you over for no license plate, right? Or whatever the case may be. And you say, well, I'm actually bound to not register this. And the cop's an idiot and he doesn't, know anything and blah, blah, blah. And so he wants to try to take your property wherever. Now you can actually sue them in their own jurisdiction because they are violating the Constitution and they're violating contract law, which is their most sacred law because of the way they enslave us. So reference for anybody who's interested, Weiss's Concise Trustee Handbook by Carlton Weiss, who was a lawyer who worked for big corporations, specifically hired to fight people like us. And when he retired, he said, yeah, this was the biggest thing that they did not do. And if they did this, there was nothing I could do about it. And he wrote a whole treatise on private express trusts and how they work, and all the references to the Supreme Court cases that uphold the validity of this are listed in there as well, which I've researched. So that's how you do it.
So is this like Native Americans on reservations, or the Amish, or who is this right now? Who does not have a corporate fiction in America?
Well, I do not. Several other people.
Because why? Because you killed it? I don't.
No, because you basically say, hey, I'm claiming. So what's happening? And like the guest here knows very well, is that one of the main linchpins, the way they do this, is the Set to KV Act. When you're missing presumed dead because of that act, because you haven't come forth with an action and claimed your estate by the age of 7 or whatever state you're in, they have different, some of them are 5, they're all in the Uniform Disposition of Unclaimed Property Acts that every state's adopted. And it has different, but it's like 5 to 7 generally, right? Because of that, you're presumed dead, and automatically your estate escheats to the state, and the state has already pledged it to the U.S. corporation as collateral for the public debt, the full faith and credit. And so that happens just by operation of what's already been set up. Does that make sense? So when you say, hey, I've returned from beyond the sea, you don't actually put that in the claim, but that's essentially what it is. Hey, here I am, right? And now this is mine, and I'll be taking that. Thank you. And I know exactly what you're doing. That's how it works. And then you throw gum in the gears of every court case that's thrown, unless you hurt somebody. If you hurt somebody, then you broke the law. So there's not really a lot you can do there. But
actually there is.
Yeah.
Let's just hit play and watch a few success stories and go from there.
Right.
Exactly why and how you're filling this out, and off you go from there. So that covers the free nail. Now, as far as Christopher Hauser, like I said, he's the only one who came out on top, and everybody. This guy here just has the best website, but there's a ton of different websites that this guy basically, a lot of people have started up. This guy just made the best one. Here are the success stories. Now, does every page have 15 or 20 of them? Yes, they do. Is there way more than 4 pages? Yes, there is. We're just simply going to go over it. Now, let's see here. Purchase the vehicle using a 1099A. Now, let's see. This guy here, basically saying that he uses OID 1096 and 1040B. This is a trustee. This is the person you want to find. And this person can be absolutely anybody. And here's the key word: you want it to be, except your spouse. It could be your kid, but it can't be your spouse. These guys are making like retarded rules on the fly. On top of that, the amount that you want has to be higher than $600. If the amount is lower than $600, everybody will tell you, get off our lawn, you cheap fuck. This does not work. But if it's over $600, the doors open up like crazy. So I will later on show you that I even have how to fill out paperwork. But for now, let's just go see a couple of more success stories. Let's see.
Let's read stuff on the internet.
Got out.
Hell yeah.
Or somebody got someone out. I bought a brand new Land Rover. Let's see. Success. About 3 days only. Oh, wow. That's pretty damn good.
What does this website sell?
You yourself, hold on. What you yourself, Party Poet? What did
there you go.
buy? What have you done with yours? Let's hear your success story.
Yep.
I bought one house, 2 cars, and I got a check literally for $5 million US. I live in Canada, and I'm having fun. I'm not.
Right.
You can write yourself higher numbers if you want, but let's continue. Seriously, take a look at the success story.
I mean, that's what type of house did you buy? Where'd you buy it at?
I bought it in Toronto. 711 Markham Street. And basically 1.5 blocks away from a excuse me, a subway station, so that if I don't want to drive, I got the subway, which is really convenient for shopping downtown. Excuse me, really convenient for shopping downtown because buses are free. And the 10 magic words for making buses free is I'm the beneficiary of John Doe, may I pass. You tell that to no, I'm serious. You tell that to a bus driver. You tell that to transit security. By the way, transit security now, since I've been riding buses for a little while, like a few years, will basically not hop on any bus or streetcar that I'm on. They will literally stand at the door. They walk in, they see me, and they just walk off the streetcar or the bus, because they do not want to show people that saying a few words and they don't have to touch you. They used to do.
If I go on that website, right? If I go on that website, okay, and I go check that website out. Now I'm interested.
Do.
No, okay, no, hold on. Now I'm interested. I want to see
Put the
what
link in the private chat.
What?
Put the link
No,
to
what's
it in the private chat.
What's behind the paywall?
A lot of money.
No, I'm saying what's behind the. I got to pay for something, right? So what is behind the paywall?
You don't have to. It's all free.
So there's
Everything
nothing
on
you
the
can buy on that website.
No, everything is free, except if you're a lazy shit who wants them to do it for you, and then they charge for that. But if you're willing to put the time in and learn it, it's all free.
And they're banking on nobody being able to learn it. And then
No, actually, they really frown on the fact that they have to help you.
Well, I
They
would
go,
too.
"Are you really sure? Are you?" Because they would rather you do it for free. And if you can't figure it out off the website, I can send you a ton of videos on how to make this work with stuff that I basically downloaded off the internet, and I put it all together. I
Here's
hate
the other
reading.
thing, though. Here's the other thing. The biggest thing about this whole thing, and why I believe, even if it worked, which I do not believe it does.
Of course not.
No, of course not. I've been at this for a long time. I know very well how the system works. I've hardly come across anybody. There's Vocational Science of Freedom, Zen, his guys, they know how it works. And that's the only other people I've come across that actually know how it works. And so, with that being said, to me, it's a trap, because you're still accepting the trust office. You're still accepting the position of beneficiary, and you are still at the mercy and discretion of the people funding the frickin' account, man. That's the problem.
Or you'll never be able to pull all the money out that's there. There's way too much.
I don't want it. That's the whole point. That's the point. Because again, so you have to learn what benefits and dependency. Well, I know you. So if you like being dependent, then you're going to subject yourself to the will of those providing whatever benefit that you are receiving. This is a fact. I've spoken at length about this. This is how law works. You cannot be independent or sovereign. If you accept benefits, you become dependent on those providing them. That's why right after they did the mortgage and created the Social Security Act, or passed the Social Security Act, they started implementing what type of programs? Welfare. What has everybody been up in arms about since the shutdown? Welfare. It's welfare. It's the private. We're going to feed you. We're going to clothe you. We're going to house you. And in return, you're my bitch. That's how it works, man.
Okay. I don't mind being dependent on someone if I can write myself a check for $5 million every 6 months. I really don't give a shit.
How long you been doing it?
What?
How long you been doing this?
I just got my first one. I got my first house. I got 2 cars out of the deal because it took a while.
Did you spend it all? You spend all of it?
No, hell no.
Well, that should be all you need then, right?
You would
but here
think.
you are on YouTube, on a channel on YouTube, you know, in the middle of the
So-
night.
Begging people to do this.
So
Fuck.
Party Poet, you're going to get another 5 million in 6 months or less, whenever, you know, 6 months from your
Right.
first 5 million.
4
Right.
months.
So why don't you Venmo everyone in the chat $1,000 since you're a fucking
Or-
millionaire?
Right.
I'm
Or why
begging
don't you
people-
redact all personal information, show us a bank statement physically with your camera?
Well, here's
Redact
one.
all.
Here's one. Let me just appeal to this then. Okay, here. On this channel right here, I am not monetized whatsoever. Okay, because I talk about controversial subjects, and YouTube said that controversial subjects are harmful to people. Okay, so I can't be monetized. I have a Cash App and a PayPal down in there. Why don't you just slip me a easy grand to help support the channel and to relieve some of the burdens I've got on me, and also
Seriously,
you know,
dude. $1,000 from a free 5 million. I mean, you might as well, if you want to make yourself look legit, send
It'd be
Sav
like
$1,000.
It'd be like $1 to any one of us, you know.
I'm telling you, Saul, you could basically start putting money in your pocket within a couple of months.
Well, I
If
could
you-
start putting money in my pocket right now if you shot me $1,000.
You could get yourself hemmed up
That's
for
only like
securities
$1.
fraud.
To a normal person, that's only like $1. To somebody who's got
That's a
$5
fact.
million, $1,000, like, you know, giving a homeless guy $1. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the first thing that pops up now.
It would give you a
Or-
lot more
no.
credibility if you paid Sav $1,000.
It's
right
not
now.
even about the money, man. It's not about the money. He's asking you because we're like, well, prove it. And here's the thing. I know that, listen, I know the way this works and I know what has to be done in order for that to be. And what you're trying to teach people is going to get people hemmed up for securities fraud. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Well,
as
outside
long
of
as
that,
you do it right. As long as you do it right, nobody comes to bother you. Literally nobody. The
Well,
only
look, you
people
wanna get
that I
this-
know, the only people
wanna
that I
get
know
this
that got
message out?
bothered. Hang on. The only people that I know that got bothered was one guy was buying a car every 2 months, a brand new car, and selling it for 3/4 of value, and then
And you
eventually,
know this?
this was one of the stories on Legal
Stories.
Ibis.
On the
So-
stories that you read on the internet. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this, right? So you're trying to get, so the whole reason this rich millionaire guy is on this podcast in you know, an obscure corner of YouTube that's shadow banned is because he wants to get the word out, right? Well, my dad's got a pretty good following, especially like we were discussing earlier, like subscriber to view ratio.
Well, that's what I
If you
figured.
so if you okay, so check it out. He said, here's the terms, right? Don't even look at it like you're giving him a grand. Look at it like this. You're hiring him. He'll become your greatest advocate. If you could send him a grant, and listen, I don't think I know it's not going to happen. And he probably knows it's not going to happen. And the point is not the money. It's the point is prove it. You should have a bank statement. You can redact all your personal information. I know this does. That's why it's so ridiculous to me that anybody's entertaining. Well, nobody's entertaining it. We're all calling you on your shit, dude. So there are many ways that you could simply prove it. If I had something like that going on, I'd fucking go right on my channel and I'd be like, look at this shit. I'd redact all my personal information. I'd be like, this is how you do it.
Yeah,
right here.
dude.
Boom.
I wouldn't be on Jerry Fletcher's
basically
live stream
did that.
at 10:45 on a Saturday night. I'd be with cocaine and hookers right now.
That eventually. First of all, there's no cocaine in my life. That's a trap I
You know what
avoided.
you know what I mean though. I'm not being literal. You
I'm
wouldn't
having
be
fun.
here on Jerry. You're having fun. You're making yourself a fool, is what you're doing, and we all see through
I'm
it.
desperately trying not to, but shit happens. you would be amazed. I did street activism, trying to hand people out. Like basically, I got a 4-page flyer that I made, and I was giving people out. It's a bitch giving them out to begin with, and the people that get it think that it's a joke. You know,
Did you know that $1,000 is only 0.02% of $5 million?
oh, I'm good at math, believe me, so.
All right, so you know what I'm wondering is like, what are you, like Jewish that you can't even spare $1,000?
Yeah, dude, you're coming off as
I
greedy as
thought the
sheep.
best thing in the world was if you and Ryan basically take off and write yourselves a check. Within 3-4 months, you'll end up getting it, because in the States it's way faster. It took me close to a year and a half because I live in Canada. It takes longer in other countries, but I teach people how to do it in other countries as well. You have to make yourself a foreign national based in the US, and then you can use all the paperwork that's on the website, and you don't have to move.
Where is it that you do all this teaching and everything at?
Well, that's theoretically sound, like I said earlier. However, what I have to say to you is what I think's happened here, because they won't do it. If they started doing this, and especially to the degree that you're talking about, the securities market would fall through its own asshole. They would kill people for doing this. And I know. This is the other thing.
No, hang on, Ryan. There's a shit ton of people like you that basically have seen the information and somehow went the other way and completely avoided.
I'm going to explain to you why. This is what I was going to say.
Go on the website. Go on the website. Watch my video in full.
Listen, I've been at this for a very long time. Okay.
You missed
And here's
the
the
law.
other thing. No, I know the law. That's you missed the law. What I'm trying to tell you is the A for V, the acceptance for value trap, is one of the early pitfalls you fall into. What you've done is you've come across something that's logically sound because of what you've been able to do about the law right now. So it must be, but you haven't gone into the history of law. You haven't gone all the way back to where this started and seen how it developed and exactly what they have to do. Does man make law? Does man make law? Does man make law? This one question will tell me everything I need to know. Does man make law?
No.
No, of course not. Who makes law?
God.
So how does man enforce his will under the color of law? What has to happen?
You can only enforce man's law on a corpse or dead people. So they kill everybody.
No, okay. Well, that's a very crude. No, see, that tells me that you don't actually get it. What happens is you take superior interest in the property. You take superior, because you can't make law and enforce your will on other people. But what you can do is determine and regulate the way your property is used.
Right.
Right.
And
okay.
The moment you announce that you have your own trustee, they basically let your trustee control your trust.
Does the U.S. citizen have the right to own property?
No.
Okay. All right. We're on the same page here. So is the U.S. citizen the owner or the heir of the estate, or even the beneficiary?
Beneficiary, yeah.
No.
Not the owner.
No. The estate is the beneficiary. The
But
U.S.
here's the
citizen
thing.
is the agency and trustee of it.
You can write it. You can basically claim your property as yours. It's called a legal title or not.
I've already done it.
Okay. And basically
what I do is I do not play in their equity jurisdiction. I take them to law every single time and challenge the validity of what they're trying to enforce on me. You know what happens if I start accepting benefits, which they're not going to give anyway, because I still don't believe that you have $5 million. And even if you did, I still wouldn't accept it because I know the strings that are attached to it.
Yeah, so
sorry. Just so you know, hold on, Party Poet, just so you know, my Cash App and PayPal are down in that little thing.
Yeah, I know where your Cash App.
Yep.
I know where your Cash App and PayPal are.
And everything. So yeah, I mean that's 0.02% of $5 million. 0.02%.
So guys,
Like,
guys, I gotta call it a night. I really loved this conversation, and I would love to kind of have this stream again, but without Party Poet, and just let Ryan actually present actual facts. Because Party Poet, you said there's a shit ton of people that know what Ryan. No, that's not true. I bet you a handful of people know what Ryan knows at his ability level. It's
No, but there's the thing.
It's a high compliment. Thank you.
Ryan's information got skewed off the subject
right.
where you can basically they will basically
All right.
by according to these rules you're allowed to you're allowed to get yourself a house of your choice, a car of your choice. By the way, when it's your choice, it doesn't have to be in the same city or country that you live in. So the next house that I'm getting will not even be in Canada because that's my choice. But you can get any house you want, any car you want. And on top of that, I figured out how to basically write yourself checks off of
Prove
this.
it. Prove it.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night. I'm gonna check out. Thanks for
I
having
will
me.
Have a good night, man.
happily
Nice
prove
meeting you,
it.
Stinky Cash, man.
You too,
I
man.
will
Yep.
happily prove it to you guys.
Okay.
I would have to see some kind of evidence of it too. And
I
I
will
think, you
send
know,
myself-
even like, you know, like what I was saying, you could send me $1,000, even just $500, right? That's a fucking drop in the bucket compared to $5 million and everything else that you got going on there.
And you're buying an advocate.
Cool, you know, and it's, well, not only that, I'd be like, wow, this guy can go ahead and just toss around $1,000. There's got to be some validity to that. Besides that, I'm worth it. You know, there's a lot of talent. We have entertainment here. And you also don't forget, you know, we have dancing girls.
Maybe make a splash like Pippin. Shit, that's nothing. Splash. Everybody call me Big.
See, I mean, you can't, that's rare quality entertainment that's going on right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's well, here's the thing, you're purchasing sponsorship, or not sponsorship, you're sponsoring an advocate. So this is
Okay. Dave, do you have credit cards?
No.
Oh shit, here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna teach you how to
No.
All right. So
I don't want a credit card at all, man, for anything.
Okay.
I very rarely use my debit card. I only use that for fucking bills and shit. That's it. Everything I do in cash.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, that's the way to do it, you know. And also, here's the thing, man. I said my piece. I've actually been down the A for V road before. I've been down pretty much every road that you can go down before. I pretty much was like, you know what? I need to go back to the origin of this thing. Where did it come from? And that's what I did. I can tell you exactly how we got here, exactly what they're doing, exactly how they're doing it, and exactly why the shit you're talking about will not work.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot actually, and I basically decided to give it a shot because in the end, they're not asking you for any money. Nobody's asking for money. In fact, they insist if someone's asking you for money, it's a scam. Secondly, the only people you're giving your information to is the IRS and your best friend. Hopefully,
And I gotta address one mind, one spirit over here. It says I talk a lot of shit and shit. Listen, the court cases you win, they're not won, they're thrown out. Okay, first of all. Second of all, if I talk a lot of shit, come prove me wrong, buddy.
Too.
Come prove me wrong.
You can win the court cases as well, because the only thing that's wrong with the way that the fella who basically between the way you open up your statement saying you're a living man and the way that I was taught to do it is a bit different. But mine,
I prove everything I say.
No, that's fine. I was taught basically to say in court that I'm the beneficiary of Marcus and I'm here on a special appearance to challenge your jurisdiction. And then you basically, on top of that, add everything else you want to add into the mix.
What's
and then
everything else? That's the important part. You just special appearance. You got that right. What else you add?
You add in why you're there.
First of all, you ask questions. You don't make statements. Secondly, it's the estate they presume to be under administrative. Every court case is an administrative hearing. That's what it is.
Yeah, the other thing that I noticed you don't tell people is that the moment you claim either to be a living man or a beneficiary, or the moment you start traveling down that road, you cannot utter the words yes or no about anything in court. If you need to, instead of the word yes, you can say positive. Instead of no, you can say zero or nothing. But you cannot say the words yes or no because they entrap you into a verbal agreement. And basically, that's what the judge will use to literally screw you and not have to
What they
listen
have
to.
to do, what they have to do is they have to get you to consent to being the trustee. They have to get you to consent to being the agency, the agent of the debtor principal. That so all your property, again, I'll say it one more time, is held in trust as collateral. It's tied. The reason they give you account numbers for your automobile, account numbers for your land, account numbers for your children, is because those accounts are tied to your account so that can act as security for them to generate commercial paper. These quote unquote courts are acting as essentially casinos, generating unregistered securities just at will and then packaging them and selling them to institutional investors. That's what's going on. And what they need you to do, what they need you to do is they need you to agree to being under that trust indenture by stating your name for the record, for instance, or answering any of their questions. If you do not answer a question with a question, like what is the nature and cause of the charges against me, then you consent, and that's all they need. So special appearance, you got that right. The rest of it is you kind of glossed over there a little bit. So
Well, I glossed over because every situation is different, and then you whatever you want to add in. But I was told to end everything with habeas corpus all persons non grata. So I just basically used that, and I was able to beat.
that's actually a good phrase. That actually, I'll give you credit there. That is a good phrase. I mean, it means produce the body. I'm not a person. That's what you just said.
Oh, okay. I never actually didn't know what it meant to this day.
Yeah.
But basically, I know that I beat 3 failure to comply with COVID restrictions. The first 2 I went to jail for, and
That's
beat it.
actually a feat in Canada, but yeah, go ahead.
And then basically the third time they didn't even want to talk to me. They just let me go. But you have to do 2 rounds of basically sitting in jail all night and then having the judge let you go. But you'll be let go absolutely dead last. You got your morning appearance.
Oh,
And
I've
then
had it happen. I know. Yeah.
yeah, and then the judge will basically find a reason why it has to be remanded over to the end of the day. And you'll literally be the last person in court, and the judge will even make sure that you're the last person in court, because whoever's sitting there, the judge will ask, what the hell are you still doing here? You know, because on the second one I had a couple of people show up and go, look, and they took a look, and there was like 3 other people with me. And the judge basically said the charges are dismissed. You're right about the fact you don't win or lose; it's just dismissed.
Of course, yeah, I know for sure. They don't want it on. They don't want precedent. That's how it works.
I'd be curious to talk to a person like you on how this can be used in a civil case. Because in a civil case, if you would like to sue somebody and still remain a living man, if that's possible.
Yes, it is. It's called arbitration. Title IX. That's why you create contracts when you create a contract when you claim your estate that has a specific arbitration clause, because you don't want to go through any of the state equity courts or the federal equity courts, because it's all equity now. They buried law, right? They did that actually in the 30s. You want to do arbitration.
So here's the thing. I'm quite skeptical of this.
Yeah.
So if you want me to send you $500
let
to
me
basically
talk. I
look
let you
into it,
take
go ahead.
Party poet. I let you talk for a long time. Let me finish what I got to say. You don't have to defend anything. Okay, I'm just stating what I'm going with here.
I'm coming right now.
I'm very skeptical of this.
Hello?
I would need to see more verifiable actual proof of this actually working without any kind of like repercussions or anything else like that. I'm going to put the link once again to your video down in the chat for anybody that may be interested. I know that if you were to like somebody else said here, that would be $1,000 for you would be like $40 for somebody with $200,000. So I don't know. Could you convince me by sending me a substantial donation to the channel?
Yeah, I have to set myself up on that. I haven't. As far as that goes, I use an online credit card, which
Okay.
to this day still has a $50 limit on it.
I know that PayPal and both Cash App, they offer a wide variety of different payment methods. So you could check that out. But yeah, I'm sure that would move me more in a direction of, hey, there's some viability to this. And also it would help out the channel too, because this isn't actually free. It does cost my time, but in any case, I enjoy doing it, and I got a lot of great people in this thing. So, like I said, I'll put this link to your video down here in the chat, and we're gonna
also, if you could put a
Put it in
link
the
to
private. Put it in the
and
private
also,
chat too, because I'm going to tell
you
you what's going to happen real quick. Is that now that you put me onto this, and if there is a bunch of people doing this, I'm going to actually review all the information and especially the success stories. Do research into the success stories and those people, and see if they're even real people. And this is I'm either going to advocate or eviscerate what you've presented tonight. That's what's going to happen on my channel.
Absolutely, that's the whole idea. I would be really happy if you signed on to Legal IBIS.
No, I'm not signing on to anything. I'm gonna look at it.
Well, you can't look at it without signing up. But it's all free. That's basically
nothing's free. That's a fact. That's how they get you. So
yeah, I know that routine.
On top of that, with that being said, I enjoyed speaking with you. I do not believe you. And I know this is, so I have to tell you, I'm pretty much planning on just probably doing a hit piece on this website, but
please do.
Okay. But outside of that, I have to say that, you're at least a very amiable guy, right? Friendly, and I didn't mind talking to you. And Dad, thank you for having me on. What's the name of the website real quick?
Legal IBIS. That's legal. I, as in I am a living man. Bus, as in public transit. Bus. LegalIBus.com.
Gotcha. I'm going to pull that up, bookmark it.
And I just want to real quick, I want to thank
you want to sign up. That's the only way you just hang on. When you sign up to them, or when you ask them to send you an invitation, just say that you were told not to ask silly questions and that you are going to research everything before you ask questions, because they're really sick of newbie questions.
I can relate to that. But
I want quick. I want to thank Gordzilla for his $5 super chat over on Rumble. It's very much appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much. And so we've got that website and everything down. Thanks for coming on tonight, Ryan. It's been great. And Party Poet, are you going to stick around for the next topics, or we're going to kind of get into it? So we're going to be. And also, don't forget, everybody. Thank you, Ryan. Have a good night, my son. And anybody else that wants to come up on the screen on the panel, the link, of course, is pinned up in the chat, and you can just click on that. It's also, I'm not sure if it's down in the description or not. I don't think it is, but I can put it in the chat once again.
Please do.
Let me do that. Wait. It's this button here. See, they use little pictures. They don't use words anymore. They use little fucking pictures for everything. I hate that. It's like we're going back. You remember the old languages? You had hieroglyphics and shit, and it was pictures. And then we went to writing, and now we're back to little fucking hieroglyphics and smiley faces and duck and stupid shit, man. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I don't have the capacity to communicate anymore. I just don't.
Hey.
What's going on, Tony?
Hey,
I got an
what you
echo
just
coming.
said. Oh, well, I haven't
Not
got anything
me.
else turned on. Is that better?
There you go.
No.
I still got
it. Yes, what you just said, I think is, if you look, what you just said, we need to go back to hieroglyphics. The world only went to shit when they invented the fucking printing press and they printed the Bible and the dictionary, and they've controlled us ever since. We go back to hieroglyphics, all our problems are solved. Tell the people with the paper to shove it up their ass.
Start punching out everything on stone, right?
Oh man, this is. Yeah, I'm still getting an echo from you, Tony.
It's not me.
I know. I can see the green lights blowing up here on Tony's thing. There, he's muted. Oh man, look at the internet has no roof. They have no roof. They are ruthless. Look at this shit. This is getting really bad, man.
They're all satanic pedophiles. And part of the deal is that you have to.
Sorry, Tony. Your shit is echoing, man. You got to do something with that. You've got something else playing, and it's picking up on the delay.
Is your YouTube open, Tony?
It probably is.
That's probably it.
Close it.
Yeah, it is. It's something echoing. Tony, I gotta mute you till you get rid of that. I gotta mute you till you get rid of that. I can't deal with that.
Okay.
All right.
But basically, they're all satanic pedophiles, and part of the deal is that you have to have sex with your parents every day. You have to participate in killing kids, having sex.
This is what's been allegated. We don't really have any real personal knowledge of this. There's been a lot of allegations thrown around. I have no doubt there is satanic ritual abuse that takes place with these kids. That they're used that it's more a lot of ritual involved with it. I mean, even the little temple thing on Epstein Island, it's perfectly situated so that the opening faces north. There's a lot of symbolism and purpose to its structure as well. But what do we really know? Well, this is what we know. We know that there's a lot of people that don't want people to know what's really going on. But since people are finding out and knowing what's going on, now they're trying to obfuscate it to make it, oh, well, it's Democrats. No, it's Republicans. It's these power elite. Okay. That's all. It's these fucking power elite. And the sooner that people realize that it is not a left-right thing, there is no real such thing. They don't really give a fuck about that. No more than they're no more enemies than Hulk Hogan and fucking Macho Man were really enemies in real life. They weren't. They were actors on a stage. Okay. So basically, if they're relevant like that, they're on the world stage. They're actors. That's basically the reality of it. And I don't care how far you go with it. And we're inundated with them. It's shows within shows within shows. Like I said the other night, the 3-ring circus. And each one of these rings is trying to draw your attention away from the other rings. And it's like you're trying to keep up and watch what's going on in each one of the events. And knowing they're all connected together, but still distracted, and they're pulling shit behind the scenes. Meanwhile, little pickpockets under the bleachers pulling your fucking money out of your pocket. See? This is it's all sick, but it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Now, see this kid here. Epstein was a Democrat. Okay, so what? Let's take a look at Trump's spiritual advisor was a Republican, right? And him and his wife got convicted for abusing a 12-year-old girl, and they got 8 months. Let's look at Dennis Hastert, Republican, Speaker of the House. The judge called him a prolific serial PDF file, man. And he got what? House arrest? This is just some shit. This is nothing new. This has always been how these power elites work, man. Going all the way back. I mean, how often do you hear that? Remember the old stories and fairy tales and stories that are based around people getting too close to the castle and coming up missing, people telling their kids, don't go too close to the castle. Don't go into the woods. A witch lives out there. They eat children. It's just like, come on, this shit's real. Anyway, listen to this.
Some massive fucking news that you're not gonna want to miss. So our president woke up this morning and decided to say some interesting things, and I took notes of what he said. By the way, all of these things he said today is in one single social media post. Once again, he said it is the Epstein hoax, so it's not real. 2, I shit you not, you can fact check me. He says Epstein was a Democrat. Very odd thing to say early in the morning. This one's my favorite. He says, don't waste your time with Trump, period. I have a country to run. Direct quote. All of these are direct quotes, by the way. So he's saying, don't waste your time with Trump in third person, and then immediately switching it into first person, saying he has a country to run. Okay. He also says, direct quote, he is the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. This is really hopeful news. He's crashing out so hard, and I know a lot of you like me are really upset with the amount of crimes that he has gotten away with. He's not getting out of this one, and he knows it. That's why he's crashing out this hard, trying everything that he can to convince enough people that, he's not part of this, or, to just let it slide. People aren't going to let this one slide. This is, as I've said, the nail in the coffin, right? The walls, the dam is breaking. The walls are crumbling. He's finished. Okay? So that's the hopeful news. But I'll keep you updated when I know more, because this news story is genuinely the biggest scandal in American history. And we're living through it in real time. My name is Hunter Howell. I'm sending you all my love. 3 buttons over here means the world to me, right? Like a repost, a comment, share with 5 of your friends. I try to get back to every comment. Sometimes there's a lot of them, but I'm doing my best. Make sure to follow me for more news.
So, yeah, that sounds like some fucking bullshit, just random crap. He's crashing out. And he's trying to turn this into really focus this into a left-right thing, and people aren't buying into it. Now, some people are. I mean, I don't know if anybody's on X, but this guy on X, Cat Turd, he goes by. This guy, my God, I just wonder, was he there sucking Trump while Trump was sucking Bubba? I don't know. Uh-oh.
Have I still got an echo?
Yeah, I don't know. You don't have an echo at all. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Do I have an echo? I can hear you.
No, you seem to be doing fine now.
Very good. I'll leave it on that setting.
What was it that gave you the echo?
I don't know. No, there's nothing. There was nothing here turned on. No, I just went offline and came back. And it seems to be all right now. Hey.
Cool. Because sometimes it's the oligarchy just pissing you off, since nobody owns their own computer. Nothing that touches the internet is owned by the person who paid for it.
The oligarch's been fucking me off for the last 70 years.
Oh, well, I got 50.
Yeah, no, I've been to court many times. First time when I was 19. I've been in jail for only 6 weeks, but I've been fighting the oligarchs since I knew the fucking everything was telling me was a lie. Because I was lucky. I didn't go to fucking school until I was past 7 years old, and by then I knew that the sun and the moon were both the same fucking size.
Yeah, I never clued into that until I was told in 2015.
Yeah. No, I didn't act. I still believed in the moon landing when I was a kid, and but I never believed that Lee Harvey Oswald shot JFK.
I'm
And
back.
when when the internet came, that's when I started finding out the first internet connection in town. And I started looking at the moon landing stuff, and that's what turned me on.
Yeah, JFK. He actually wanted to stop the banks, and the
Yeah.
moment he decided to fuck with the Federal Reserve and the money or the debt, that's when they decided it's time for a public execution.
It was
And
more
it
than
was a
that.
public
Hey,
execution.
it was more than that. It was more than that. Okay,
No, I think it was the moment he said,
he was having real problems with Israel. Okay, and their incursion into our government. He was having real problems with that. He wanted the organization that later became AIPAC. He was trying to get them to register with FARA. He wanted them to comply with the regulations of the IAEA and the nuclear proliferation treaties, and they would not. And he was getting pissed off about it. That's where he was really striking right there, was at the terrorist state of Israel. And of course, that's by proxy going to include the banks as well, because we know where the banks are run from. So yeah, this whole thing is really not good at all. And I'm glad to see that the spell, as far as their incursion into our governmental bodies, as good as it's going to do us for them to even be there. People are wise to it now. People are actually going to town halls, and when their representatives are having town halls and shit like that, and if they've taken AIPAC money, they're getting called out for it. They're getting called out for supporting the genocide in Gaza. The death of Zog, and for those of you that don't know, Zog is an acronym for Zionist Occupied Government, which is exactly what we have. The death of it is at hand. It's happening right now. And what we're seeing are the final death throes and gasping attempts to try to stay alive right now. And it's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's all crashing down. It's falling like a fucking meteor. It's just something big is coming. Something big is coming. Something that we've never seen before, I think. I feel it. I don't know if you guys have had that feeling. Maybe you're there in the chat. Have y'all had that feeling that something fucking big is on the horizon? Something is coming that we just, like that. It's almost like a waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it's like heavier than that, like waiting for the other big boot to drop. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that like they're going to drop a boot on us. I mean that there's going to be something happen that is amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally. But the trouble is, I've been saying that for the last fucking 20 years. That's the problem.
But I mean, don't you feel like there's an increase? I mean, here's the thing too. Here's another thing that I've noticed in a lot of people, and it was really crazy because without having talked about it very much, just noticing it, maybe say some things to my wife and whatnot, I've run across like videos and different people that have put out videos about the exact same thing, about how time seems to be fucking going so much faster than it should be. Like how weeks are just going by in the blink of an eye. You know, I mean, for me, it seems in no time, by the time I get up and I go to work and I'm there, that it's like, wow, it's time to go already. Fuck. You know, or it's lunchtime already. Jesus, we just got here. It seems like everything's fucking speeding up as well. Like, I don't know how, but it just does. And a lot of people are feeling that. I mean, I can't believe we're already at the end of this year coming up. I mean, this is 12 months already, really? I can't believe I've had this fucking channel for what, 3 years now, 4 years, something like that. It's I don't know. Do you guys feel it?
Time flies when you're having fun.
No, I mean, not just the perception of time like that. I mean, that it literally is. Did you know that there's these monks in China that they use these candles that are designed to burn 24 hours exactly, right?
Jews have that one too, actually.
Okay, so listen to this. They not changed the formula or the ingredients or anything, and now they're burning up in like 18 hours.
Really? I didn't notice.
Yeah. So like that's really weird. But I don't know. I mean,
They're telling you.
like me, it just feels like to me and to a lot of other people, like, and that brings me to the scripture in Daniel, that the prophecy that he will be given the authority to change the laws and the times and the proceeding of time. And it's like, whoa, yeah. You know, now, does that mean he's going to change dates or anything else like that? But no, I think it actually the concept or the perception of time is for some reason speeding up. I don't know. Peter says 100%. Yeah, the sun is hotter, Ryan. I have noticed that. It's very intense. It's very, very intense. You can pinpoint its location on your back. And I can remember as a child, the sun just being a lot of warmth coming from that direction. And now you can actually, it's like oppressive almost sometimes. I don't know. There it is. Did you all see, or there was a huge life insurance policy with Charlie Kirk? Nobody really got into that. Everybody was chasing around ghost shooters and shit for an assassination that never really took place. I thought that was kind of interesting that they were able to obfuscate from this. And I thought, I wonder what the insurance payout. And I didn't really think much about it because already Erica Kirk was already fucking rich, you know, before any of this. I don't even think they were really, really married. I think it was like on a soap opera, you know, like Luke and Laura on the General Hospital wasn't fucking married really in real life, but they did it on, you know, on the soap opera. And hell, everybody was so into that story that it was almost like for real to them. You know, they do this all the time. All you have to do is just manage people's perception. It's not hard, obviously.
An auditor named Brian Ferentz went through all of TPUSA's tax documents and found that in just 2023, a large life insurance policy was taken out on Charlie Kirk. As you can see here, GGLF LLC paid for a split dollar life insurance policy for the president/CEO of Turning Point USA, aka Charlie Kirk. Annual premiums for this policy are massive, $350,000 per year, meaning that the death benefit for someone who is 41 years old and a non-smoker would be between $20 and $50 million. All of this information is public because TPUSA is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. So you can go ahead and look up this information for yourself. GGLF 2023 LLC is also owned by Charlie Kirk. So why would he have one business paying one of his other businesses for his own life insurance policy? Because it's a common tax strategy for high net worth individuals that comes with massive write-offs and deductions, making sure that the beneficiary would not have to pay a massive estate tax of up to 40%, meaning on a $10 million death benefit policy, that could trigger a $4 million tax bill. Remember, in this case, the payout is supposed to be a lot bigger than that. The timing of taking out such a large policy so close to the date he was executed is interesting, considering this was far past the time that he had nationally broken out and become a huge public figure with TPUSA. It could, of course, be because he got married and had 2 children and wanted to make sure that they were protected in case anything happened. But that's making an assumption that we know who received this money. Even though this tax information is public, how much the policy paid out and who the beneficiary is private. Now, one would assume it's Erica Kirk, but if it was somebody else, that would be quite interesting. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
What if that the character Charlie Kirk was insured and the beneficiary was the actor that played Charlie Kirk? And so when the character was killed, the actor got paid.
That's possible.
Not just possible, but I would dare say plausible.
I mean,
where's his body?
Exactly.
Where is the man's corpse?
Isn't it buried by now?
They claim it is. They said he had a Catholic funeral and a mass. Yeah. There's no video of it, no newspaper pictures, no story of it, nothing. We'll find this out later.
We're just supposed to believe the whole thing.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was whacked off the same way.
Nobody got shot on that university, and people are chasing around ghost fucking shooters. And this is by purpose, man. They want you to come up with alternative stories and shit so they can, with a ridiculous narrative from the government. It's almost like a replay or a rewrite of the Kennedy thing. They want you to see Umbrella Man. They want you to see this bullshit. They want you deciphering directions and angles of bullets and all this other shit. And the whole time, there was no actual fucking shooting. It was a drama, just like at Butler.
Well, I'm still not convinced of 30-06, that's for sure.
Well, it's just as ridiculous as getting shot in the ear, having 2 centimeters scooped out, and this is from the doctor, the attending doctors of Trump, said there was 2 centimeters of his ear was scooped out consistent with a 5.56 millimeter bullet. 2 weeks later, there's not even a fucking mark on his. Yeah, 2 weeks later, it's not even a fucking mark on his ear.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, come on. That was all theatrics. We saw the cameraman being brought into place to get the photo op and lowering the flag so he could put his fist up in the air and say, you know, fight. Come on. This is all WWF bullshit, man.
It really is.
And then there's like fucking explosions going on all over the goddamn world.
And no, it's like, and if you're calling out the truth about it, like, oh, you're the enemy.
God damn, that last vape just fucking tore me up. What?
Tell me why there's explosions happening right now all around the world. India, Argentina, Russia, some of the United States we'll get to in a minute. Just behind me is a chemical plant or power plant explosion in Argentina. Is there some kind of WAR taking place globally? Because things like this don't just happen, but especially multiple times a day in multiple different locations in different countries all around the earth. What you're seeing right here is a police station explosion randomly in India. I'm pretty sure this clip is also India. A lot of times people will ask me, why am I not seeing this anywhere else? Really good question. Of course, obviously, needless to say, we have many explosions happening in Russia as well as Ukraine right now. But what does Argentina have to do with them? And besides the 5 different train derailments in the US and other than the US, we've had a chemical explosion in the United States just a few days ago. Y'all, this is very, very odd. You remember when all those chemical plants were exploding and trains were derailing all the time? I think it was like last year or something. Also happening simultaneously. Remember that. We have Algeria just straight up on fire, but not just them. China is on fire as well. What is all this disaster at the same exact time? What exactly is this? And of course, unrelated, this crazy fog we can even see in the daytime, showing up all over the world again. Not related whatsoever to disaster or disastrous things. Just fog.
The fuck is that shit? Man, they're just evil. There's a bunch of shit going on in Mexico. Somebody's got an echo again. It's you, Tony. So, did you guys see about that? Where all these people stormed the fucking presidential palace in Mexico City? Did you guys, anybody hear about that?
No, not yet.
Yeah, they were. What's that broad's name? Their president, Scheinbaum, I think is their name. That doesn't sound very Mexican. It really doesn't. Scheinbaum. Jeez. And they're protesting because of the corruption and that the president is in bed with the cartels and shit like that. What else is new? Look at this. They're not happy. That wall, that metal shit that they were dancing on, jumping up and down on, that was part of a wall that was erected by the police. And they had a clash with the police and apparently overpowered the police and knocked that wall down. I think I have some other footage of it here. Let me see. Oh, yeah, we'll show that later after the kitties go to bed. Where in the hell was that? Oh, here we go. Look at this shit. Give you a better perspective of what the fuck was going on there. Look at all those goddamn people, man. Look at that. So that clip I showed just a minute ago was this wall back here that they'd torn down. This here, see him on the right, see this wall?
Mm-hmm.
They got part of it over here too, it looks like. This is before they got rowdy. Well, people are fucking tired of this shit.
Well, good for them, to be honest.
That's what I said, man.
Hmm.
That's what I said. I mean, people are starting to get rowdy. This is yeah, that was there's a look here. They finally got up on that wall. Show you real quick. That's fucking sick, man. I don't know what to make of that shit. What happened? Well, I thought this was kind of interesting too. We're just kind of freestyling shit here tonight, man. I don't know what's going on over here in the Trump stop them. All right, hang on a second.
Listen, you guys, forget about the list, okay? Forget the list. They've got you distracted. Forget about the file or files. Forget about the island because there's multiple properties. You know the guy with the sword and he does this number? Okay. Google that plus ranch.
She's talking about this El Zorro Ranch, the Zorro Ranch in New Mexico.
And look at that facility. In that facility, there is a building the size of a house that's a computer that has documented hours and hours of video of everyone involved. There are multiple properties. The one in New York, and they all have underground tunnels, and they all have these digital supercomputers that are documenting everything. That's when we'll know that they're actually doing something. None of these people are going to do anything. They're all part of it. All of them. The one that's here now, the one before him, the one before that, so on and so forth, all the way back to Kennedy. This is in reference as well to the next few posts that I'm going to make. Forget the list. There's hours and hours, years of documented evidence of everyone.
Shit, that's what I've been saying this whole time, man. They're all on it and going way back. This has been going on a long time.
Well, I mean, that's kind of contradictory, though. I mean, when there's so much evidence, why should we forget the list?
Well, by this point in time, the amount of hands that it's been through, you know, it's sort of like, how do we know what the fuck is actually legitimate about any of it? All I need is this. I already know they're all on it. And the sooner that people, everybody realizes that just because they guy that they vote for, they like him, doesn't mean he ain't on it. And it don't matter whether he's a Democrat or a Republican. Doesn't matter what kind of a silly fucking animal he's got on his shirt. He's in it. Take a look at the amount of people that are taking money from APEC in the Congress. Now, granted, they offer a lot of money, but you got to sell your soul. You got to sell out your own country. If you believe in all that bullshit, you got to sell out your own country. So that's your 30 pieces of silver, Judas. So can we trust Judas? No. Because he sold out for 30 pieces of fucking silver.
And like, even from my point of view, it's like I can forgive him, but I can't trust you.
Right. Hey, we need you to snitch on your buddy. No way, I'll never do that. He's my buddy. We'll give you a new car. Okay, here's what he did. Yeah, that's a real buddy right there, right?
No.
So how are you going to trust somebody like that to be fucking taking care of your you know, representing you? Unless you're like that too, then that would be appropriate, you see. That's the shit. You can't. People that have a real problem looking at shit from a logical standpoint. Oh, I got a Jake TV thing too. I'll show that here in a little bit. It's a long one. I never saw a Jake TV clip that was 12 minutes long. But here, JD Vance. Here's a two-faced motherfucker, Janice. And this is, look, I'm looking at this here. So what's in store on their clip? Okay. So JD Vance has been a relevant character here recently, especially in light of the hug with Erica Kirk at the TPUSA event. You also got to look at, he was the guy that was flew in Air Force Two to carry Charlie Kirk's body to Arizona from Utah when, you know, it was like, there was no investigation. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed.
Well, it's like when Vance first kind of got on the scene, like I liked a lot of his talking points, but now that I get to know more about him, it's like he's just as shady as the rest.
I think he wears fucking eyeliner too, man. I really do. I think he wears eyeliner. But look here. Here's how two-faced he is. This is a while back here. 2000. Damn it, I can't read that. 2018, somewhere in there. And this is now on the right. Listen to this.
Somebody who doesn't like Trump, myself, the elites were right about Donald Trump, right? I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
He's the best president of my lifetime, and he revealed the corruption in this country like nobody else.
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
I think that he was a good president. I think he made a lot of good decisions for people.
I take it you're not a Trump supporter from what I've read. Am I right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. I didn't vote for Trump.
All around, he was a great president. I'm 37 years old. Certainly the best president of my lifetime.
Somebody who doesn't like Trump, myself, the elites were right about Donald Trump.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how do you do that? I mean,
or unholy crap. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, you just sit there and just sincerely lie like that.
So it was the original JD Vance I liked, and not the new one.
Oh man, this is crazy. This is stuff that's coming up now. And you remember back when the Pizzagate shit was rolling around? They were out there debunking it and everything. And then later, all those people that debunked it got caught with child porn on their computers. And yeah, anyway. There was some shit going on about Anthony Bourdain and how his demise came about because he witnessed Adam Schiff at the Standard Hotel in Los Angeles and something very, very bad that he was not supposed to see. Now, from what I understand, it was Schiff had a young African-American boy drugged up, doing things to him, and the kid died, and Schiff was still doing things to it. And then after discovering that he'd been doing it with a dead kid, he flipped shit, and Adam Bourdain was there, and he witnessed the shit. And shortly thereafter came up dead. But anyways, real short thing from TPV Sean on X. And I'll stop it. He's always selling his channel, but I can't blame him. It's a pretty good channel. Let me play this real quick. Adam Schiff. Yeah, good guy.
They burned the servers. They staged the crash and executed Anne Heche on live TV. They swore her child trafficking documentary, Children of the Machine, would die with her. It didn't. A skilled team of forensic editors, ex-Intel operatives, and the last uncorrupted journalists pulled the pieces from the ashes. They're rebuilding it now, frame by frame, in blackout rooms. This isn't Hollywood gossip. This is the pipeline that runs under DC, Sacramento, and every capital on Earth. An ancient pedophile network that trades kids like currency. Adam Schiff's mortgage fraud? Distraction. Anne's files show the truth. Room 1201, Standard Hotel, Los Angeles. Anthony Bourdain walked in on something he wasn't meant to see. Months later, he was dead. After leaving a breadcrumb trail, Heche followed straight to Epstein's Island, then to a Georgetown basement. She got too close, so they executed her on live TV. A public warning to every other investigator. Back.
Yeah, you remember that? She got up right there off the fucking gurney. They had her zipped up in there like she was dead. She got up right off that thing. They pushed her back down and stuck her in the
She's
ambulance.
clearly not dead, is she?
No. People weren't supposed to see that, but that shit went out live. That news chopper was just happened to be flying around when that accident happened and was right over it. So they was covering it. And they
So
didn't
it's like
know.
even these elites make major mistakes.
Oh yeah. Well, I think there's angels working in our behalf to pull things
there
out
is.
that give us, pull the veil, a little bit so that we can see it.
Well, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like even the demons are still spiritually stupid.
Yeah. They're what would you say? Narcissistic. They have too much belief in their own huff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. That's the best I can kind of put it right now.
Survived, encrypted, duplicated, smuggled out. We're the same crew that first exposed Pizzagate before the media gutted it. We decoded Podesta's emails. We interviewed Bieber when he tried to scream the truth. They banned us, erased us, failed. Now we're back, and we're going to make sure that Anne's final cut is released. Today, you'll see it. CCTV from the Standard in LA and Le Maurice in Paris. Hotel staff, producers, bodyguards, assistants. Naming names, dates, dropping recordings. All you need to do is subscribe now. Be the first to see the footage they killed Anne H. to bury. Raw evidence that will spark mass awakening, crash the gates of power, and force the world to face the truth when it's unleashed for everybody else. To watch this video in full, please.
So, yeah, that was some big shit. Back when it happened, and there again, it just got dropped under the radar.
Well, it's like Anthony Bourdain. It's like he wasn't suicidal.
No, not by any means.
Like he had no reason to be.
No, he was. Yeah, that was. And you know what? I've also heard. Here's another thing too. They're comparing. Okay, so there was people that were comparing the ears on the photos of Epstein being his body being removed from the jail cell, right? And when you look at it and compare it to Anthony Bourdain, and it looks like the same fucking dude. It looks like they actually pulled Anthony Bourdain out of the on that stretcher. So they have his body. I don't know, man. Just that dude, he didn't die. Epstein's not dead. In fact,
dear Nick, no, he's not.
I got a thing here. Dufresne even said that he's not dead. So,
well, there's a lot of these pretenders faking they're dead.
Oh, this is kind of crazy. You like Dave Smith? This guy?
I can't say I've seen him.
Oh, yeah. He's been on a lot of shit here recently.
I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation. At the time, it seemed like the right one. But he should be impeached and removed for this one. Wow. And not on some like not on some ridiculous Nancy Pelosi. Of course, the Congress will never do it because they're all a bunch of corrupt hacks.
This is the one thing they support. This is like
Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for. And I will say, despite the fact that, Donald Trump supporters have been labeled like a cult following, and that certainly is true for a percentage of his supporters, he is going to lose his coalition over this. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say there are a lot of us who simply will not go along with this. So it's just a devastating mistake. By the way, on top of that, he's also going to lose the deportation fight because of this. Because right now he needed all the political capital he could have to turn that, you got a majority support for deportations, but the minority is very mobilized and they're out and they're protesting all around the country. He needed all of his political capital for that move. So here's what we got. The neocons win. More war abroad and, bomb the world and invite the world. No matter who you vote for, you always get John McCain.
No shit. Yeah, there's some shit about, where was that? Hang on. Here we go. So there was massive anti-Trump protests outside the White House today, demanding the resignation of Trump following the incriminating release of the Epstein emails. So this is kind of interesting. Let me back this up and start it up.
Well, it's like he's not going to resign.
No, but I guarantee you he's not. I don't feel that he's going to finish this term. He's either going to die or be kicked out or resign or something. But they got to get JD Vance in there as quick as possible. That's what the plan is.
I'll be right back, like 2 minutes.
All right.
Well, hey, Derek, long time no see. I'm following
It's been
around,
a few hours, Rod.
or he's
Yeah,
following
good evening.
around.
All right, be right back.
How you doing,
So
son?
yeah, this is what's going on, Raj?
Not too much. Just going over my traffic ticket right now.
Mm.
The old lady's analyzing it. Yeah,
Oh.
they're going to charge me with what do you call it? Not reckless driving, but they got another term for it. But yeah, they're trying to throw the book at me on the ticket. So you should have seen the goon that was standing over me with his body cam and stuff too.
You should have filmed it.
Me and this old guy were talking. The guy I hit, we were shooting the shit. I wasn't even thinking about it. And the Karen that was there on the scene, she called the cops.
Oh God!
Everybody else drove off the road. We were just fine, and she got bumped in the bumper. Her name is Amber, and I'm really in shock right now, over and over again. Running around gathering up witnesses for the crime, you know. Got rear-ended.
Want to sue something? I hate those types of people.
Well, she was a regular Karen, dude. You could tell she would snap in a second, you know.
There's these people that want Trump to go.
We are sending a message to the people across this country.
Can't hear you. Speak up.
And build
Yeah.
the power of the people to drive out this regime.
Talk into the microphone.
And then at the end, I want you to know one of the most beautiful things about this moment.
Impeach, convict, and remove. This was in D.C. today.
Didn't they do that last time he ran? They wanted to impeach his ass.
Oh, they're trying to do everything they can, and you know, man, I'll tell you what, this guy's stinking worse and worse by the day. I don't know how he's going to recover from this shit, man.
Well, he's not going to go up on any charges. He's not going to go to jail. He's not going to end up like Epstein, I'm pretty sure.
What was that?
I see a party poet made it over here. I was over on Ryan's earlier. I didn't see him over there. You should have came over to say hi to Ryan.
Check this
I
out.
got Ryan to come here and say hi.
He just was. That's who Burn the Corporate Fiction is.
Yes.
It's Ryan. Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. Listen, who do you think said this? Yes, he's an idiot with zero common sense and no social skills. I just hope he never gets into politics. He'd be a disaster.
Arsenio Hall.
Somebody said that about Donald Trump. Who do you think?
His wife?
His mom.
Oh, there you go. I don't know who his mom is at all. I haven't studied his whole family. So.
Mary Ann Trump.
If you trace his lineage back, he actually is part of a very wealthy family from Germany, from what I gather.
Well, his mom's maiden name was Mary Ann Christ.
Okay, that explains it.
Wow. What a cool name.
Not a cool name, but I mean that family, you know.
Might be related to Jesus.
Yeah, it could be.
That's his last name, right? Christ?
Christ, yeah. Wasn't David Koresh named Christ too? His grandfather.
It might have.
That was his title he used. The Koresh.
This is pretty good. This is funny.
And it just keeps getting worse. If you saw my video from yesterday, this is a part 2 on that. Yesterday, we went over the fact and legitimized those emails where we confirmed that, yes, the emails that Epstein asked, does Putin still have the photos of Trump blowing Bubba, are 100% legit? Bubba being Clinton. Well, now the sausage snatcher strikes again. If you can see in the photo below me right here, this is Donald Trump grabbing Clinton's peen. And it's a legit photo. And I did not know what to do when I first saw it because my brain automatically goes to, no, this can't be real because this is so fucking ridiculous. But no, it's real. So if you're a Republican who watched my video yesterday and you said, Bubba could be anyone, that's obviously, you know, it's a different Trump, obviously, not our Donnie. It's your Donnie, okay? And it is that Bubba. So Do what you will with this photo. The comments are funny, though. They're calling him Donica Lewinsky, saying stuff like, this must be why he has such a rival with Hillary Clinton. So, yeah, this is where we're at. This is embarrassing to be a Republican. If I was a Republican right now, I'd be, if I voted, not Republican, you guys aren't that bad. It's the MAGA. If you voted for Trump right now, you should be fucking embarrassed. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You want to my face again? Thank you. Goodbye.
That fine young lesbian there didn't understand that they had a cocaine bourbon-filled afternoon on the golf course before that happened.
I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and show this. What the fuck? This is fucking hilarious.
There's no need to feel down.
Yes, those balls will swing against your chin just as well as anybody else's.
Oh my God. Listen, man, the internet is ruthless with this shit. I ran across this thing. There must have been like 20 different memes that have been made, all collected together, of all kinds of shit about that. I mean, you just can't get it. Listen, people love a good scandalous blowjob. And it's amazing because the last scandalous blowjob that we had involved the exact same guy, Bill Clinton, right?
Absolutely.
We had the Monica Lewinsky thing, right? And boy, everybody knew about that. Whenever there's a ween, yes, you have a ween. No.
Well, it's like in the U.S., it's like things have gotten so numb. People have become used to this.
Well, it's like on Idiocracy, where the most popular show was "Ow My Balls."
Yeah,
right.
Great
and
show.
Anytime you got it involving the crotch, it gets the most attention.
Ding ding.
It really does. Think about back with Lorena Bobbitt. Remember, she cut off her old man's dick.
Quick. He became a porn star after that, man.
Yeah, I used to do Civil War reenactments with one of the cops that found the penis in the road.
Nice.
Yeah, they put it in a Slurpee. No, this is no shit. They put it in a Slurpee to take it to the hospital.
They kept it cold.
Yeah.
Well, you remember the first scandal with Clinton was I didn't inhale. He got caught smoking weed in college. Yeah,
I did smoke marijuana, but I did not inhale.
Yeah. Clinton's been in the press. He likes this stuff, dude. He really does. I don't know about now. He's gone, ain't he? Or is he still alive?
He's still kicking a little bit. He needs a little adrenochrome. He'll be all right.
Yeah. I hear you can synthetically make that crap. I've seen them do it synthetically. I don't know what they do synthetically. It's adrenaline, what they give you if you get an allergic reaction. What's the name of that stuff they give you when you get bee stung? You need to get a quick adrenaline shot. They use that same material and they cook it into adrenochrome.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll turn into adrenochrome after its expiration date.
Oh, nice. Even better. Just wait till it expires.
Mm-hmm. Epinephrine. Yeah, that's it.
There it is. You get an epinephrine pen, you got an allergic reaction, stab yourself. It's just high doses of epinephrine.
Well, these people get fucked up on it, I can tell you. Yeah, that was the email. This is a, I don't know if I can get that to show up very big on here.
Why does sex always get involved in this stuff, though? Why can't people just do?
That's what they use to blackmail them with.
Yeah.
That's blowing Bill Clinton's way better material than getting a Hummer from Monica Lewinsky. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember back in the old days that was all the bosses got Hummers from their secretaries and stuff. That was a normal thing. It's taboo though. So,
well, Nick Fuentes weighed in on this very topic, and this was rather comical.
Headmaster 69 sent $20. Really unfortunate that Trump has been outed as gay. This is definitely worse than if he had sex with some teenage girl. Do you think he's a top or bottom?
Well, all they said is that he blew Bill Clinton. So does that count as top or bottom? I don't think that counts. So I don't know. I don't think that's real. It is funny though. The idea, well, hey, the signs were there. What's his fucking anthem? His anthem is the YMCA by the Village People. That's crazy that like diehard Trump supporters called me gay, and then they went to the RNC where he was dancing with the Village People to the YMCA on stage. Like self-awareness much? But yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. But he doesn't seem... But who knows, you know, when we go to Epstein Island, what happens on the island stays on the island. You never know, right?
You know, there's something interesting about that song in particular. A Frenchman flew to New York City, and within 24 hours, he had wrote that song just about staying in New York City. Because he saw what the YMCA was, man. He knew exactly what it was.
Well, who controls we know the Jews are controlling all this shit, but who controls the Jews? Who do you think?
I don't know, man. That's a real question. I think they're a self-interest group for one. They want to promote their religion, and they're going to do it any way they can, and they want to protect their state. So and they're really crafty when it comes to interest and money. Money comes first in their world. Even in the Talmud, that's what the whole thing is really about. It's about laws concerning money.
It's about the earthly shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Being of the earth and not just in the earth. Being of the world, not in the world.
Yeah, but that's in the actual Bible itself. Christ admonished us not to be of the world, but in the world. Or no, it's actually Paul, wasn't it?
Who controls the Jews? Most people don't know that Rothschild translates to red shield. Does a shield not assume the existence of something or someone to be shielded? Indeed, the Encyclopedia Judaica explicitly names the Rothschilds as, quote, guardians of the Vatican treasury. The Vatican, of course, holds the imperial wealth of Rome. Most people think communism is a Jewish thing, but communism actually originated with the Jesuits over 200 years prior in their Paraguayan reductions, whose principles they spoon-fed to the Jew Karl Marx in the reading room of the British Museum. This was exposed by ex-Jesuit priest Alberto Rivera, as well as Otto von Bismarck's North German Gazette, which stated that Marx was tutored by the Jesuit priest Peter Becks. Karl Marx indeed attended Friedrich Wilhelm Trier, a Jesuit school. Lenin, another Jew who was a supposed figurehead of communism, was a Freemason, and as we know, the Freemasons served the Jesuits. Stalin also admitted in an interview he was Jesuit trained, after which he coincidentally became extremely passionate about the Marxist cause. If you had any doubts, some symbolism here strongly suggests they're all Freemasons, and as we know, the Freemasons served the Jesuits. So was it the Jews behind communism, or was it the Jesuits? The truth is that the Jesuits had to make it appear like the Jews were behind communism in order to institute their next plan, which would be spearheaded by Mein Kampf, which, according to ex-Nazi military Otto Strasser, was actually written by the Jesuit-controlled priest Father Bernhard Stampfler and handed off to Hitler. Himmler, head of the SS, was a Jesuit tool himself, and the Vatican was also crucial in helping Nazis escape Germany through their rat lines. Is it possible that there was a hidden hand riling up conflicts on both sides this whole time, and these same people are doing it again, and the masses are falling for it again? The whole point, of course, of the Jesuit-facilitated Holocaust was to incentivize Jews to move to Palestine to prepare for the final act, which is coming up soon. Most people also don't realize that the most powerful banking position in the world, the head of the Federal Reserve Bank, is Jerome Powell, who is not a Jew, but is in fact Jesuit trained. Could the scapegoats be blinding us from the real threat? After all, the CIA, which is where the real power is, as well as the largest facilitator of child operations in the world, was founded by Catholic Knight of Malta William Donovan, and was even nicknamed Catholics in Action due to their high number of Catholics. Even Israel's Mossad was trained by Reinhard Gehlen, a literal Nazi and Catholic Knight of Malta. As Eric John Phelps put it, Jews always play, quote, a conspicuous but subordinate role in world events. Satan isn't stupid enough to hide behind just one group. He wears many masks, and most people are gonna fall for his deception.
I believe that.
Do you know Pope Pius actually used to have meetings with Hitler on a regular basis, and he actually ordained Hitler as one of the sons of the church. So this is pre-war and during the war too.
I was going to say that.
Sorry, that's just brought it in my mind.
What you talking about, Willis?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. My mind's halfway gone right now. I did a good show earlier. I had a nice little stream at 8 o'clock this morning, so I've been going ever since.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I had the day off. I took these 3 days off to get my truck straightened out and everything. My back's been in pain since I got in the wreck, so I've been taking some pain pills just to alleviate some of it. Just naproxen for the most part. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. AG Media, you are absolutely right. In 10 to 20 years. But I don't think we got another 10 to 20 years.
I hope not.
I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I think it's here. It's I mean, this is just going too fucking crazy right now. You know? I mean, what do you think, Raj?
Oh yeah, I think, and the media is really stirring the pot though. But I'm glad they're showing us what's going on behind it because we can see through it in a heartbeat. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, like we was talking about earlier, I don't think you were here, about time feeling like it's speeding up. And you know, it's just like the events that are taking place so quickly, and especially as far as, you know, this is one of the big indicators to me is this dilution of this Jew spell that's been placed over everybody for so long. I think it's worn off. I really do.
Well,
And they're
my youngest daughter actually came to me and says, "You know, it's the state of Israel, right?" She just today got in the car with her. My youngest daughter.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, it's all Israel. It's all the Jews." I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had to break it down. She's going through Charlie Kirk and all the rest of the little media circus around that, and plus what's going on with Cash Patel and the Fed and everything else too. And okay, so she's paying attention now.
Good.
I didn't go, hey, you know, Blair, did you know that the Jews run the world?
Well, she'll come to that pretty quick enough on her own. I mean, it's evident. People have known it for a long time. People were scared to mention it because they're always afraid of, oh, they'll call me an anti-Semite and they'll start whining about the fucking Holocaust and shit. You know, now it's to a point where they've used that too much and nobody fucking cares. We've also looked at and seen all the lies about your fucking so-called Holocaust. Eyewitness testimony that is not even credible. I mean, not even in the least bit. Saw a woman come and saying they could tell whether they were burning Jews or Poles in the crematorium by the color of the smoke. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Another one that came out and said they put her friend in a freezer truck, like they carry meat in, and then froze her solid and then pushed her out the back of the truck and she shattered all over the pavement. Shut the fuck up with your cartoon bullshit. That doesn't happen. No. Another woman testifying that she had a nail driven into her head. No, you didn't. I mean, this is just, they make up fucking stories and shit and expect you to believe it. And think about this. The stories they make up is shit that they concocted in their own imagination. So just imagine why they're so reprehensible in their behavior towards these people in Gaza.
I just want to say real fast. It's like, it's not just Jews, okay? Like it's people who basically, you know, may honor Christ with their lips, but their hearts are far away from him.
Well, the Jewish nation doesn't honor Christ at all. They think he's a fake almost.
Well, it's like they reject their own people who receive him.
Yeah.
Well, as far as going, like, here's these churches and shit, these evangelical churches here in the United States that are advocating for Israel at the same time as they're committing genocide and doing reprehensible things, and they're still supporting them. And it's like, wait a second. All you got to do is run it through a real litmus test. Okay. What would Jesus have to say about this shit? Would he say, yeah, you should support those people, and even though they're killing kids and bombing all these people and luring them in with food so they can shoot him, and you know, yeah, that's cool. Go right ahead. Be blessed while you do it. Does that sound characteristic of the man who's the centerpiece of the New Testament?
Well, like the video I watched the other day of 3 IDF officers shielding one of them, accosting one of the Palestinian prisoners there. I don't condone that at all. They did do that. And they're some of their
so it's like basically, it's like, I mean, are they following like the first 2 laws, right? Love God and then love your neighbor. Are they doing that?
No, they're not.
No.
No.
There's Zionists hiding behind and under the guise of Judaism. Okay, you have to understand political Zionism. The father of it was a man, a Jewish man by the name of Theodore Herzl, who was a fucking atheist. You see, it's a clever game of masquerade. It really is.
And then I have to take that and then turn it around on me and our country and be like, are we loving God and our neighbors ourselves?
I would say no.
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 We're
Not
guilty
as,
of the
not as
same
a
shit.
nation. Not as a nation. Now, individually, that's a different story. And that's what it's unfortunately got to come down to, is because there are no real battle lines. There are no real, it's not like there's one army on one side and one army on another side. Everybody is galvanized and mixed together. They're mixed together, even in households. So you've got those that are, you've got both sides intermingled amongst one another. So it's a big, huge fucking mess. So you can't lump yourself in. I don't see, this is the whole thing with identity as under a government. Well, listen, here's the thing. What I stand with, I stand with all good people worldwide, regardless of where you're at. If you're doing the right thing, then God be with you. Okay. If you're seeking to harm or exploit your fellow man, well, I ain't really supposed to. I ain't supposed to judge you on that, but I'm going to. Okay. And as far as I'm concerned, with my attention to you, because you're going to have to answer for that for sure. But I beg you to stop and reconsider what it is you're actually doing. Is it worth whatever earthly treasures that you're going to receive for this act? Is it really worth that? You don't take it with you. You ain't going to take it with you. It's just like, you come into this world empty-handed and fucking naked, and you go out of it the same goddamn way.
I don't know. I was stretching out for breasts when I first got out. I'm just kidding.
But you know what I'm saying? You come into this world with absolutely fucking nothing and naked, and you go out of this world exactly the same fucking way. You know, it's just this isn't it. You know what I'm saying? This here isn't it. This is just an experience. Don't get lulled into the physicality. You know, it's nice. We can interact with it, but don't fucking possess it. Don't try to possess it, because you can't truly possess it. Now, happiness you can possess, but happiness doesn't come from things. It doesn't come from worldly objects. It doesn't come from money. You may temporarily fool yourself into believing that, but it doesn't come from that. The happiness has to come from yourself. Now, sometimes other things can help to enhance that happiness, but you have to first have it first. You can't look for it in external things. In the same way that you can't look for God in an external way. You find God by looking inward. You don't find God by looking outward. You can find evidence of God by looking outward, but you have to look inward to find God.
So I got a question for you, Sal. Does it say you're a rocket science on your shirt?
It does, and NASA too. So you have to believe it. It has the logo. Okay.
So how do rockets work in a vacuum, sir?
They don't. They don't. We've been fooling you for years, and we rely on the ignorance of the masses and their fascination with science fiction movies to float our fucking grift of millions and millions of dollars a day.
And a lot of wasted time into bunk companies, which are just basically money laundering for exploits.
Well, for off books projects through DARPA, like Smart Dust and mass surveillance and facial recognition systems, gait recognition like they have now. So they can bring us wonderful things like the flock safety cameras. Yeah.
No, nice. And
Those are real
a girl down in over here in Denver that she got busted with that. Although she didn't do it. So yeah, the flock cameras got her.
Yeah. Listen, this shit's getting crazy. What do you think that 5G? That 5G wasn't a communication system. That 5G was a fucking surveillance grid.
Yeah,
Communication systems are a good communication system is able to broadcast long distances without having to transfer through several nodes, not require to have a node every so many 100 feet. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's bullshit. That's not a communication system worth a shit. That is a surveillance grid, though.
Oh, yeah.
No,
My
yeah,
daughter
they got one of those things set up in my front yard.
Do you? Oh, that sucks, Derek.
Do you know how to use a reciprocating saw?
Yeah. You don't get no angles with it.
Well, you'll want to get yourself a bimetal blade to put into it.
Yep.
And get to work, boy.
Even a grinder will work. You got one of those laying around, a big wheel grinder. You can go out there and sparks will fly.
Though, I mean, well, it's like, in my opinion, it's like it's something that still can't prosper over me.
Right.
No weapon of the enemy will prosper over me.
But you have to be careful as well, because these are not, what these are designed to do is to disrupt your frequencies. And you are a creature of frequency, vibration, and energy. These are these silent weapons for silent wars. And they're hitting us with them all the time.
I know it.
Oh,
so that's the thing.
There's one more thing my daughter asked me after she got done talking about the, you know who's. She goes, well, are we on a have a firmament over us? Is it enclosed? I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She breaks out. Yeah, there you go. So there was a picture of Duffy. If anybody wants to know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Will Duffy.
Yeah.
Hey, Will.
Hey, babe. Yeah, anybody is going to go in and scam retirees out of hedge fund money and get yeah.
And though I wouldn't compare Duffy to that, I would compare him more like a Biden.
Yeah, I don't think he's
like a little snivelly fucking guy. His eyes are all narrow together. He looks like he's ready to fuck you over at any moment. You know,
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah.
I mean, he's like a timeshare salesman to me.
I would go with the used car salesman better yet. So, because
Well,
used car salesmen are slimier.
And I haven't heard much from him lately. What's going on with that?
He quit now. He's done.
He left, dude. He's gone.
He quit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. After I called him out to come over and debate me on my channel, he decided it was time to retire. This is my last thing. Like, dude, why is this going to be you knew that? I didn't know this is the last thing he's going to do. He's been saying the final this, the final that every time he opens his mouth. How do I know this is the final debate you're going to? Yeah, sure, dude.
Wow.
I got everybody else except Duffy. I got everybody from Brenda McToon, Craig, and Astronomy Live. That if you watch the stream, it's hilarious as hell.
Oh yeah, no,
And
I clearly I didn't see it. No.
I had Cubby as just a basic referee to keep these people shut up. There you go. There he is. Isn't he lovely?
I want to know what's up with that shoe.
Well, that's a phenomenon. Brenda actually told QE in a debate, shoes are phenomenons.
Wow.
We're looking for a natural phenomenon in the scientific method. That was the question. And Brenda brought up shoes.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when I hear that right there. Bullshit meter goes on high.
And that doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. Did you listen to I got it trimmed out. Go to QE's channel. He's got it actually happening in real time. And Bob and her actually talking about how you don't actually ever touch things or see things where they actually are. They're all refracted.
You got booger picker
law. Nowhere in nature or in a controlled environment can we ever produce a volume outside of containment.
What's that?
Gas been seen or
what's that, brother?
He'll get it one day. He will. He'll find that damn thing.
He was digging for answers.
Well, he's
That's
not
what-
going to find them in his nose. That's for sure.
No, he was debating Saab at the time, I think, wasn't
He was, yeah.
he?
That was me talking. I was like, that was me talking. I was making a point. He didn't know his camera was on. He was back in there digging.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're amongst stars here, dude.
I guess so. All right.
That was on Jaren's sadism.
Yeah, that was before Jaren went to his little grave. I'm just going to say it like it is. I mean, he killed himself. He really did.
Yeah, Nathan made a real good point. Nathan said he could have sold out and just went back over to the Globe, but he worked hard at his debates. He built his style and he did not give up, and he's still pushing. He works hard. He's selling microphones. He's doing other things besides just debating, and he has a debate fee like you do. So, does anybody want to debate me? You pay me $500. I'll come on your little Ricky Dink Facebook channel or wherever, and we'll debate. Have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's their little thing is just, it blew up in their face. What they used him like a cheap whore and then kicked him out of the fucking car and drove off. That's what happened. That's what it looked like. I mean, it just proved fuck you, now he's stuck out there twisting in the wind by himself pretty much,
Well, I think FED and the panel over there talked to him, and Nathan himself, and actually told him, this is before Behind the Curve, and like, dude, don't do it. They're going to make you look like a fool.
Yeah.
And we know what's going to happen after.
I saw that. Correct, Roger. No, they warned him.
Yeah.
I warned him about this one. I warned him about this dumb shit thing. I told him, I says, don't do it, man. I wouldn't even fucking. As soon as I heard McToon was fucking involved, I was like, this is bullshit. This is going to be some bullshit right here.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, fuck them people. Anyway, I mean, they're trying to. Oh well, what they figured on was that they were going to have these people Pied Piper flat earthers into going back to the globe. That's what they thought was going to happen. They didn't realize that we're not in it because of these people and what they believe. It's by what we've observed and what we found out on our own.
And what we can prove.
Yes, that's the whole thing. I love this. These motherfuckers come on here and say, well, how far away is the sun? I said, I don't fucking know. Why would it matter? Why would it matter how far away the fucking sun is? Why every time you guys try to claim a globe, you don't look at anything but the sky? That's like me going over and checking my neighbor's swimming pool to see if my vehicle's got enough gas in it.
Checking the pH levels in the.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck has that got to do with what you're standing on?
No thing.
Not a fucking thing.
Yeah,
that's what it cracks me up. I get those people all the time, and then it's like, this is where they'll always go with this one. I'll say, well, wait a second, how you got gas pressure without physical containment? And I'll say, well, because of gravity. I said, because of gravity? What's gravity? And they'll go, well, it's mass attracts mass. And oh, why? Why does mass attract mass?
Don't know.
Well, mass creates a force. Oh, well, where does mass get the energy to transform into a gravitational force? It has to get it from somewhere. And why does it never run out? That goes against the principles of energy, right? You can't create or destroy energy. It can only be transferred or transformed. So it has to be getting the energy from somewhere. And then they go with this one. They go, well, does a permanent magnet need energy? Yes, it does. And they're perplexed because it's called a permanent magnet, but it's no more permanent magnet than a woman's permanent is a permanent hairstyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's just a term. So the thing is, what's it mean? It means that it's a magnet that's not hooked up to an electrical source. Okay. It stands alone. But what will happen is over time, it will lose magnetism. It carries energy in the form of a potential as opposed to an electromagnet, which has a current running through it. So every one of those requires a force.
They do. And it's not gravity.
It requires an energy source.
Now, I have lodestone right here in my hand. This is magnetic when they dig it up, they say. It's not as strong as a regular magnet, but it has a magnetic property. It'll actually stick to metal. You know? Yeah. It sticks better to magnets than it does metal.
I've got hematite, which has got a really good magnetic pull to it. But over time, it will lose those magnetic properties and faster with use. My kitchen cupboards have magnets in them, and they're probably 50-year-old cabinets. And I have to replace the magnets in them because they're wore out. They don't work anymore. Now, they've not been heated up to the Curie point. So we know that it's over a period of time. I've had magnets actually a long enough time where they fall off of the refrigerator, don't stick anymore.
Yeah, I get that. But this one's actually lost magnetism since I got it. I've had it for 3 years, and it's got weaker over time, over 3 years.
It will. So that's the thing they always go to, and they'll say, well, no, it's just an inherent property of mass. I said, well, so it defies the first law of thermodynamics? That's what you're telling me. It just creates its own energy out of nothing, because you can't tell me there's a force without energy being applied. And in order to move any physical object, a force must be applied to it. There's no getting around it.
Yeah, Ryan has what do you call it? The demium magnet. What is it called?
Neodymium.
Yeah, he's got one. Those things will crush stuff, dude.
Dude, they'll break apart if they slam together too hard.
Yeah,
I've got a whole box of neodymium magnets right down here. It's in a metal milk bone box. Now, I'll tell you something cool. You want to try something cool? Take one of those neodymium magnets and drop it down through a copper tube.
Yeah,
it floats. It floats down the tube, and then it goes into free fall as soon as it gets outside of the tube again.
Copper creates a magnet itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's because there's a electromagnetic field in that copper. It's basically a coil. That tubing is basically a coil.
You know, if you actually take this lead itself, it'll actually attract to itself.
What, lead?
Yeah, it's a very subtle attraction, but it does attract to it. It's weird. I think it has everything to do with the electrical properties that are in lead. It transfers electricity quite well, doesn't it? It's a softer metal. Yeah. It's heavier, denser than most. Iron's denser than that, though. But it's not as soft.
What's Heresy C going on about?
I have
molten glass stretched out like a tent. What are you having trouble with exactly? I'm not having trouble with anything.
No, we're not. Rakia? Yeah, we know.
I ain't having any trouble with anything. Incidentally, I don't. This is not how this came about. I didn't go, well, the Bible says the earth is flat, and so I'm testing it. No. What I found out was that the earth was not a globe, and it was flat, and the Bible says it is too. That came second to me. That came second to me, because I don't take secondhand information, hearsay information.
Investigate it.
Exactly. I want demonstrable, repeatable proofs. That's what I want.
And when I was in high school, one of the main reasons why Christian beliefs were driven out is because you believe in God. Yeah, the Bible, that takes belief. But here we are with evolution that doesn't require belief. Here we are with a globe Earth that doesn't require belief. Yet they absolutely do.
Yeah, they do.
Extremely.
And now that they have a grip on it, it's like they refuse to let go.
Yeah. Well, that's they have to remain adamant within their lie in order to sell it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the next thing you have to do is to scoff at those that don't believe their lies. Okay. And when you start asking questions, that's when they start getting all mad. And you're like, well, there was a big, huge explosion 15 million years ago. It's like, 15 billion years ago or whatever. And I'm like, how in the fuck do you know this?
If they don't, how dare you question the science?
Yeah, well, that's what science means, is to question shit. Okay?
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
the
it means.
whole
I'm
point.
using science on your so-called fucking science.
Yeah, we covered what they actually started out with the original proposal with how the solar system was actually formed today on my show, didn't we, Derek? We went through it on flat water. It's excellent the way you broke it down, dude. It's all a giant leap of assumptions, dude.
It
But they,
is.
as science, dead straight.
With
And
physical impossibilities at its core. Physical impossibilities at its core. I'm supposed to believe that for some reason balls of gas formed together against the nature of gas behavior. They somehow decided to form together and become such a huge mass that they crushed in on themselves and became nuclear reactors. And I'm like, oh, well, cool story, bro. Get the fuck out of here. First off, how do you get a specific volume of any gas without any physical containment? There is nothing that will do that. All fluids require containment, man.
well, in order to contain a vacuum, even anywhere, you have to have containment.
Exactly.
That's the odd part.
There's no such thing, okay? There's no such thing as a vacuum. There is a such thing as a very low pressure system. But there is never an instance where an object is not subject to a fluid medium.
Yeah.
That's
Can I
all.
defend Heresy right quick? Heresy was talking to another guy named Jerry in the chat. Not you, Jerry.
Oh, okay.
He's
Oh, you
talking
know what? Everybody, I've had people coming on here. I had that one guy come on here the other night. He sounded a little bit like Apu from Simpsons, and he kept going, Jetty,
Yeah.
hollering for me. And I was like, sorry about the mix up.
the guy who claims that the Jews are Vikings, that guy? Yeah.
I don't remember if that's what
That was
the guy
I
is.
went to his channel.
We get some
Yeah.
real hoopty hoos on here. We had a guy that claims that the sun actually lands on the earth.
And takes off too. Huh.
Must.
Yeah.
Rolls around somewhere and then takes off again behind you. And I don't know how that shit works, but I would like to see, from a side view, that thing landing, and see if is there anybody get hurt.
Oh yeah, well, give us a look. See.
Yeah, I would like to see that. But hey, it's not. I don't think any more ridiculous than thinking you live on a spinning water ball. That's kind of. And some of the things, but it is, if you really break it down, a lot of people in society, here they are, they think they're smart, they think they're adults, and they're really very childish, very childlike in their thinking, very adolescent in their actions. You can tell that they've not spent a whole lot of time in the self perspective category, kind of like the inward look. Seeing yourself from a third person perspective. It's an interesting technique. You've heard this, the old Indian thing, stand in the other man's moccasins, right? Well, that's kind of an exercise that you do when you're engaged with other people. You already have your first person perspective of it, but imagine the other person's perspective of it. Okay, you view yourself from the other guy. Then take it a step further and view it from a third person perspective. If you can start to master this, you can really start to understand and change. Not so much change, but tailor your interactions in a way that's more pleasing to you.
Can you touch on how gradients work and how air pressure and gas pressure works? There's somebody out there saying no gradient then, huh?
Well, of course.
And Roger,
why do these people think that because we know that there's an impossibility for an open system with a fluid pressure dynamic to it, that automatically it means you're like in a spray paint can or something? Now, no one denies that there is a pressure gradient, but a pressure gradient cannot exist without pressure.
Okay? And pressure cannot exist without a specific volume of gases.
Yeah.
And a specific volume of gases cannot be amassed without physical containment. Now, since we know that the unscientific theory of gravity does not have any effect on gas behavior, can we think of maybe some other things that would maybe account for a pressure gradient? What other kind of a gradient do we have as we increase in altitude? Can anybody tell me? What, besides a pressure gradient, what other kind of a gradient do we have as we increase in altitude? I'll give you a hint. There's snow on top of mountains in the summertime. So is there a gradient perhaps of temperature as we rise in elevation? Yes, even just within what they call the toposphere, the troposphere, which is where we're at right now. Okay, this is where all the living things live, is in the top of it, right? Okay, the troposphere. And there is a pressure gradient in that portion of our dynamic system, right? And a temperature gradient. Now, something really funny happened to me the other couple of weeks ago. We had a cold snap came, right? And I got up and I got dressed and I went to go to work and I fired up my Jeep and I started to get out the driveway. My little warning light came on and told me that the pressure in every one of my tires was now about 5 pounds lower than it was when I went to bed. So I got to thinking, who's the son of a bitch that came in here and removed exactly 5 pounds of pressure out of each one of my tires last night? Oh, wait. The cold air reduced the pressure of that contained fluid air, didn't it? So we know that cold can reduce air pressure. What about anything else? Do we start to lose some of the elemental properties of the gas mixture that we breathe down here on the ground? We sure do. We sure do. We start getting less and less water vapor as we get higher up, don't we? And per Dalton's law, the sum pressure is the total of all the gas pressures of each element within the mixture put together. So we're taking one of those away. So there's another thing that's going to reduce pressure, right? Okay. And then we got Boyle's law. We got Boyle's law that tells us that the dispersal area of the gas, in other words, the more area it's got to cover, the less pressure there is for that volume of gas, right? And so, of course, we've got the highest pressure of gas right down here at the source of the gases, and where most of the exchanges of these gases is taking place, right down here. It's sort of like, think about this. Where are you going to see the most Ford pickup trucks? At the back gate of an assembly line at a Ford plant or on the freeway? There's still just as many Ford trucks, but there's going to be a higher accumulation right there where they're made. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Once they disperse out into the highway and into the country, they become fewer and fewer.
Yeah.
So hold on. So through dispersal area, elemental makeup, and temperature, we've got 3 factors working together that can reduce air pressure, and there are more. This is just the nature of a dynamic system which could not exist without physical containment.
Amen. I just want to make 2 points. I broke down, I bought a Ridgeline. Guess what I had in the Ridgeline? The Ridgeline had air tire sensors in it. On cold days at Flagstaff, get in the truck, crank it up. Guess what comes on?
Air pressure.
The sensors.
Yep.
And I didn't get the air out. I didn't run down and fill it up neither. I just drove the truck till it got hot. But
yeah, that's another thing too, because sometimes if it's only a few pounds and you start to drive, that friction is on the tires is enough to warm up the air inside to bring it up a couple of pounds.
Yep. And I got a question for your employer there, NASA. Don't they actually cite that you have to have a container to have pressurized gas? It's actually in a NASA citation. They actually tell.
I mean, it's an axiomatic fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Since nobody has ever witnessed any kind of a fluid pressure system or created any type of a fluid pressure system without physical containment, it means that it's an axiomatic impossibility. If it were not, it could be recreated.
Yeah. I actually have a NASA shirt myself, but it has never a straight answer on it. And the fine print below it says NASA
Oh,
on
this
the
is actually from the Kennedy Space Center down in Florida. My wife picked it up for me as a joke.
Yeah. But on the back of it, I got "Welcome to Flat Earth," FED written on the back of it. So you get never a straight answer coming at you, and you got "Welcome to Flat Earth" leaving.
So anyway, I had this kind of cool Stu Peters thing I wanted to show too. I hope that answers people's questions a little bit. And when people start yammering on about a fucking pressure gradient, remind them that the antecedent to the gradient is pressure. Okay. And you cannot have pressure without physical containment. The pressure is not the weight of the gas at all, because the pressure is your displacement of a confined fluid. In other words, it has nowhere to go when you move it out of the way for your own presence, and it squeezes in because it desperately wants to be where you're at, but your body resists it being where you're at because two physical objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Therefore, the force of that gas trying to be where you're at is what causes the pressure. If it was the weight, it would be an exclusive downward force measurable, but it's not. It is directed inward on the displacing object, which would be you or the barometer or whatever else. That's another thing. If it was the weight of the gases, then a barometer would be orientation dependent. It would have to set level like a scale in order to give a fucking accurate reading. So
there's no physical way around it.
No, there's not.
None.
And it's going to remain axiomatic until someone can prove otherwise.
And they can't. We know they can't.
See, these people like to say math is reality. Okay. Look what the math says. I don't give a fuck what the math says. It has to be possible first. Okay. And here's like what I use the example of. I say, I have 3 pink flying elephants.
Oh, you do?
And I add 2 pink flying elephants to it. Now the math says that I have 5 pink flying elephants. But reality says I have 0 because they don't fucking exist. So math is not reality. There's people right now in federal prison because their math didn't reflect reality. They're called embezzlers, money launderers and shit, okay?
You know what I'm humming about.
Turning Point certainly doesn't seem all that interested in finding out what the real story is. You can't tell me that these people actually believe that this lazy-eyed sniper called Tyler Robinson was responsible for killing Charlie Kirk. A great post on Facebook. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, everyone is arguing about the response of Erica Kirk and Candace Owens, when in reality, they should be talking about the fact that Charlie Kirk himself was speaking out against Jewish donors and Jewish interests in the days and the weeks and the months leading up to his death. He was pulling the plug on Turning Point USA's relationship with the Jewish people, and not just with but with Benjamin Netanyahu and the state of Israel itself. And now that Charlie Kirk is out of the way, Turning Point USA is running right back into the arms of those very same people that he was trying to disassociate with, running right back into their wallets. And because Charlie was a man of convictions and principles and morals and values and a true Jesus-believing Christian, although be it indoctrinated with the Schofield theology, because intentionally all the people that were placed around him organically were these Zionists. They weren't Christians. There's no such thing as a Christian Zionist. If you're a Christian, a Zionist is not your friend. You can't be both. But Christian Zionism is a word. It's a made-up word. It doesn't exist. It's an oxymoron. The two are the inverse of the other. Christian and Zionism do not go together. Christian and Judaism do not go together. There's no Judeo-Christian. One religion believes that the other's Lord and Savior is burning in hell. And that message was going to get out there. And those questions were going to be asked. And Charlie Kirk was never supposed to utter those words.
Uh-oh. Pescadios. The character did. The character was removed from the show.
Nah.
Well,
never
what's the
happened.
end game?
Well, if you're on the Apollo, you don't get to go back on again. They pull you up with a cane.
You know, but that's a good question. What is the end game?
I don't know.
Keeping you distracted enough.
Why should I believe he's dead when none of us can see his corpse?
Well, that and the fact that it's a totality of all the little fucking details. Okay. And that's why I say, even with like the TFE, I was saying that the devil is always in the fucking details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was
we see that here's this guy. Okay. At first you see he gets shot. You're horrified. You're horrified. Everybody was. Okay. But then you start looking into the details and you're like, what? Wait a second. Why did this chair go through a table? Why do none of these fucking people that are helping him and on the ground before they even start carrying him, there's no blood on any of them?
And that's
no arterial spray.
We're getting told different stories.
Yeah. So then they carry this body off. They carry this guy off. They go to an SUV. Well, they didn't wait for paramedics. There's always paramedics on scene at something like that. It's a requirement.
Yeah.
I know my wife works at the school over here, and that they have a big event or a football game or whatever the case may be. They have EMTs and an ambulance on scene. It's just standard operating procedures. So, they don't get any first responders that show up there. The first time you see any first responders is when they're carrying Charlie Kirk with no blood trail and no blood on them to the SUV, where you see a couple of EMTs with a trauma bag show up and the bodyguards push them back. Can't have any real medical people seeing that this is a fake event.
Oh no. Here's a question for you. What was the guy's name that was in the head of the event there, Mike? The one that was on the cell phone like right away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was nonchalantly walking through while all these people are panicking, right? With a cell phone.
Yeah. And his story didn't jive with his actions on camera.
Nope. Doesn't make any sense.
No,
like he was orchestrating half of the event is what it seemed like to me. That's what it appeared to be.
I think they want you to see the obvious flaws in it. I really do. I can't help but think that, because I'm like, look, if this is the best you all can do, you need to hire my ass, man. I pay more attention to detail than you all do. I'd be covering all these fucking bases before I even try to pull it off. You got to war game this entire thing. You can't just war game the event. You got to war game the aftermath of the event. You got to do all this in your head.
Well, like with Trump's event,
it's like they're flaunting at this point, because it's like they've been able to get away with 9/11 for over 20 years now.
Well, they got away with everything.
Get away with it. Get away with it. There's a lot of people that just aren't fooled.
Yeah.
There really are there anymore.
So they know they can't fool us. We're a minority, but they still depend on the majority being fooled.
Well, the thing is once little bastards like me go out there and tell you how they're doing their trick. And one of the biggest things I tell people, be careful of going with your emotions. It's easy to fool you when you're immersed in your emotions. Remember how horrified and shocked everyone was about the towers collapsing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a big emotional thing, and boy, they played everything out that they could about it. And they even had songs, "I'm proud to be an American," and the Statue of Liberty.
We will never forget
Al Qaeda's ass and all this other fucking shit, right? Little playing cards with the top Al Qaeda people on it, all this dumb shit, right? Real going to that propaganda. They unwarrantedly attacked the United States as dastardly evildoers and all this shit, right? And people are caught up in their fucking emotions. But you know what happened? They kept showing us that fucking footage of the towers falling. And pretty soon the emotion stopped. It wore off a little bit, enough for you to see fucking demolition squids blowing out underneath. Long enough for people to research and say, hey, how often does fire collapse a steel structured building like that? You find out that it only happened
ever twice in history, and it was on the same fucking day, and it's the very building we're talking about? Wait a second, something fucking stinks in Denmark really bad.
Saab, you know what got me is that we went over and we bombed Baghdad right away. Like that had
Oh, yeah.
something to do with Al Qaeda.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. George couldn't wait to get in there and bomb Iraq. He couldn't. That was on the list of 9 countries that were not controlled by a Rothschild bank.
One of the major premises for invading Afghanistan was to go after the Taliban. You guys remember that?
Well, that's what they told you. It was to control the opium.
Also, I mean, if I had been accepted into the military when I was almost 19, I may have been 19. But no, I would have been part of a recon unit.
Okay.
And that's what my job would have been, to go first into Afghanistan and to chase the Taliban. And no, but like after the invasion, the Taliban retreated to Pakistan. And then all of a sudden, the entire American army stops chasing them and then veers off into Iraq.
Well, they left enough troops there to protect the poppy fields from any Al Qaeda coming back.
No,
See,
but
the thing is
that what happened to going after the Taliban?
Well, the Taliban, the only reason that they wanted the Taliban out of the picture was because the Taliban was destroying the opium fields. Okay,
they were also
opium
just a scapegoat.
That's bad for business. That's bad for business. That's been a Bush family business for a long time. Too. It really has. This is why HW was called Poppy, not as a paternal name, a familiar like my papa or anything like that. No, referring to poppies that they grow opium from. They're tied right in with the Clinton crime family. I'm not kidding you. We have a mafia running shit, man. A literal, real mafia. Bill Clinton, his father was really Nelson Rockefeller, who's was the governor of Arkansas at the time of his conception. His mother was kind of a floozy that would, whatever, in Hot Springs, not Hope, Hot Springs, Mecca for the Dixie Mafia at the time. This shit ain't, and this alliance between him and Hillary, well, here he is, born of Mafia, and Hillary Rodham. Who is Hillary Rodham? Well, her father was in the fucking Chicago Mafia.
They're criminals.
Of course. Listen, Godfather 3 should tell you a lot about what's really going on. If you've never seen it, I suggest you watch it. This is really how the whole fucking thing really works. We're seeing these people and oh, what a great American patriot. Look, man, Donald Trump is an opportunist. He's not very bright. He's a blowhard. He's a disgusting, uncouth, vile man. Okay, he's not a great American. He's just got a good PR campaign. That's all. He's a controlled ass fucking puppet. Now you find out he's been blowing Bill Clinton. That's that just right there. I can't believe that. Come on, you think that's real?
No, really. Now I want to go with this, Saab. Though there's one thing is poetically that he used to say, "Saab, you're fired."
Yeah. I don't work for you, bitch. I don't work for you, bitch. Right?
Yeah.
Good point.
Now
he's supposed to work for us, and he's not.
Right. This is the whole thing. They're saying, "Oh, you're not MAGA." No, MAGA is not Trump. Okay, I hope not, because Make America Great Again. What did I say? Come on now. Those of you who've been watching Saab for a long time, what did I tell you before last November? What did I tell you? I said, as soon as this motherfucker comes in, he's going to trade that American flag for an Israeli flag. Mark my words. And what has he done?
Well, he sits there kissing the Wailing Wall.
I know. You ever heard Brother Nathaniel talk about what that really is? They're humping a demon spirit. That's why they rock. And they thrust their pelvis. They're humping a demon spirit, simulating it or whatever else.
They're getting Parkinson's after. Oh.
This is fucking crazy. Listen to this guy.
First of all, this term that was used immediately after October 7th and has been recycled over and over, that this is the biggest killing of Jews since the Holocaust. It may be true, it may not, that's not, but it's used for a particular purpose. It's used to evoke the Holocaust, both in the Israeli public and in the international community, not least among Jewish populations in other countries. That is that Israel is threatened again with another Auschwitz, and therefore it has to do everything that it takes to thwart that threat. And in doing so, it cannot abide by any international rules or regulations. It doesn't have to listen to anyone. The Gentiles stood by when the Jews were killed in the Holocaust, and therefore we can do whatever we believe we need to do. So that's the first sort of what this term evokes. As for the killing of
no, wait, that's hold on. So you're going to use a lie to justify your fucking bullshit. What do you mean the Gentiles stood by while they were slaughtering Jews? Nobody was slaughtering Jews. That's a fucking lie.
You didn't see Schindler's List? Son?
I
Come
did.
on.
I you know what? This is a real funny story too. I was dating this girl and took her to go see Schindler's List, and it was in an area of the Metro Detroit area that was predominantly Jewish in Royal Oak at this theater. And I swear to God, that place was full of fucking Jews. The place was full of Jews. And we sat in there and watched the movie. And we're walking out. And you know how everybody's kind of crowded together coming out. I looked at her and I says, man, that was really a powerful movie. And she goes, yeah, it was. And I said, wouldn't it suck if that really happened? Brother, you could have heard a mouse piss on cotton. It got so fucking quiet. I'm not shitting you, man. Like all these fucking Jews looking at me like, what the fuck?
What do you mean it didn't happen soft?
Oh my God.
Well, I'm not anti-Jew myself, okay, but this just to say, it's like the numbers don't match.
No, the logistics. Like I said before, the devil is in the details. And when you start running the logistics, okay, how much coal would be required? How much manpower would be required? You got to remember, we're loading up this big, huge gas chamber full of people, right? We're closing the door, which opens inward, I might add. The door that opens inward, okay? And then we run this gas on all these people, right? So where do you think most of the people are going to be piled up at?
Toward the front.
In front of the fucking door. They're trying to get out, right? They want to beat in the door and shit, right? So there's all these hundreds of bodies all piled up near the door. Now you got to open that door inward against the weight of all these dead bodies. And you got to get in there and everybody's got to clean everything up. This is after somehow fumigating.
How did they open the door?
Well, there again, you got to, it's like, how did you fumigate? How did you keep the people that go in there and clear the bodies out? How did you get them to not be succumb to this fucking
There's no
gas?
record of that whatsoever. Right? Like you would need
But
like
then,
a bulldozer or something.
Well, so yeah, and so they got to go in there and they got to remove these bodies by hand, and they load them onto carts and taking them to an elevator that takes them upstairs and rolls the cart down to the crematorium. Okay, and then it takes about like 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours with a coal furnace to reduce a human body down to ash.
Yeah, I know how.
Okay. And the more bodies you put in the furnace, the slower it goes, okay? Because you're like 70% water or some shit like that and 80% water. This is kind of a, okay, this
it's
is a
not
problem.
feasible.
So the amount of bodies that are piling up can't match the amount of furnaces that you have. So you've got this surplus of bodies building up on you. And look, I've done the math on it based on how many ovens and everything they had all together. And they would just be finishing up.
It's
right
like
now.
I'm even willing to grant, like, oh, there was a terrible tragedy, but it still does not match.
No, look, I'm not denying that the Jews and others were not put in concentration camps in Germany and in Europe in World War II. I'm not denying that. In fact, we had concentration camps here in the United States during World War II in which we kept Japanese Americans. We stripped them of their rights, removed their citizenship, took all of their property, let them keep what they could carry, and made them live in concentration camps in the desert.
Yeah, I know two of them personally that actually were children in those camps. I know two people.
I've been to one of them. I visited. There was one not far from where I lived in California called Manzanar. And okay, so that's okay. But it wasn't a death camp. And here's the thing. Let's take a look at a lot of the photographs from Auschwitz, right? Why did they have a maternity ward at a so-called death camp? Why would they have a theater and a music hall at a so-called death camp? Why would they issue camp script to inmates that they could use at a cantina in a death camp? Why would they have a swimming pool at a death camp?
There's one more thing you missed, though. They had an equestrian stall there, stables. Yeah.
Okay, so that's and there again, like at Manzanar, they had a movie theater and a music hall. They had basketball courts. They had a garden. And then their jobs in the day were to make parachutes for the United States military.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like, so I don't deny that there were camps, but let's face it, I think
it's not what they said they were.
Well, the Jewish people, no, they're not what they said they were.
Right.
Well, if you make an atrocity like that and you ramp the numbers up, it seems really atrocious.
Right.
Oh, God, so millions are dying daily.
And it doesn't even compare to what we did, what Eisenhower did to the Germans at the end of World War II. Classified them as disarmed combatants and not prisoners of war, so he didn't have to give them rights under the Geneva Conventions. He left them in open air prisons.
Cities that were bombed.
Well, I mean, kept them in open air prisons without food, without water, without shelter. Many died. So many died that the funeral details couldn't keep up with the amount of dead bodies that were showing up. You don't hear this report about this shit, but this really happened. We were responsible for some atrocious bullshit, taking groups of German soldiers who had surrendered, calling them disarmed combatants, and then machine gunning them to death. We did that under Eisenhower's policies.
Quite a general, wasn't he?
He was a piece of shit.
Well, we voted him into president, so there you go. Explain something.
Look at there's Andrew.
Hey,
up, Andrew?
Gentlemen, good evening. And
how are you tonight?
I am doing wonderful. I'm at the grocery. I just pulled into the grocery store, so gonna make some food, make some dinner. Anyways, the other thing that a lot of people may not actually know when it comes to the whole Auschwitz type of research is there was a young Jewish boy back in the early 70s, I think, actually went there to Auschwitz and did an entire investigation on it as well. And that's where a lot of the information, where the greatest story never told, and he's in that documentary. And the other thing that happened is he was from Canada, so he was going around Canada and trying to find these different people that I don't even know what their title is. People that that work crematoriums. So I don't know what the title is for those people, but he finally found one of them, and he was going. It's about a half an hour long. I'll pull it up for you guys later on. But yeah, the guy who was like a doctor or some shit like that, and he was like, yeah, there's absolutely zero chance whatsoever that they could do 2 million. I think they said 2 million bodies were burned in Auschwitz. It's like, no, you can't do that because they were made out of brick, and you can only do that so often until you have to re-brick the entire thing. and that takes a certain amount of time, and plus the bricks have to have a certain amount of cooldown time before you can even fucking do anything with it. And then from there, I mean, what do you do? Like, if someone gets cremated, there's the bones that are usually left over, and then you have to grind up the remainder of the bones, and you put that into.
Yeah, it's usually the upper thigh, the femur, and hip bone have to be ground. The jaw, the bottom jaw, I think. There's a few bones
they weren't doing that.
reduced down to ash, and they do have to be pulverized. There's a pulverization, a bone pulverizer they use.
Right, and the other thing that this guy was actually doing was explaining that if, like, okay, what if you double stack them? Okay, so apparently they had 6 crematorium chambers. Like, oh, well, so you do 12 at a time rather than 6. Well, they said, well, most of them were underfed because of all of these different leishmaniasis, I think is what they had. There was these different illnesses, war illness, which was causing them to become very ill and skinny. So, and this guy was saying a fat person will burn a lot faster than a skinny person because of all the fat, which basically just works as a fuel.
Yeah, like tallow.
But so it doesn't work even if you double stack dead bodies that are skinny. No. It doesn't work. And then he said if you were to do that 24 hours a day, even assuming you didn't have to re-brick the inside of the burn chamber, like the math doesn't work. He's like maybe a couple 100,000, but not 2 or 2.5 million. That's in 2 years. It doesn't work. And they went to the Canadian government, and I guess at one point they had to say, okay, well, I guess we shouldn't be teaching that anymore. But I guess that got redacted later on.
Yeah, it was put in the newspapers, and everybody got the headline to begin with about the amount of people that died in each one of the camps. It was printed as a fact that when it did, but we're at war, so people just like, oh, got madder and madder over it. So
the first discovery of a camp was Bergen-Belsen, and it was by the United States Army Psychological Warfare Division, who just happened to have a Hollywood film crew with Cecil B. DeMille, who accidentally stepped into the frame once or twice.
Accidentally?
And Bergen-Belsen was a quarantine camp for typhus.
So that's what it was. Yeah, it was typhus. Yeah, not leishmaniasis. That's from sandflies. Yeah, typhus.
So that was a quarantine camp for typhus. They claimed it was a death camp.
Well, I'm pretty sure our soldiers got vaccinated for all that, didn't they, before they went over?
Oh, because they care a lot about them.
I know.
They really care a lot about them. They do. They care.
The other thing about Auschwitz is, yes, they had a soccer team. They had these sports teams. They received mail. There was no fence around it. They could come and go if they wanted to. But nope, they were there for getting killed. It's like, oh, well, what about all of their clothes? Yeah, they stripped their fucking clothes off because they were dirty and they were trying to help them out. And they shaved their head because of lice. And that's when Zyklon B was the gas that was used, or the chemical that was used to treat lice, head lice, which is a very common thing in a lot of different war situations.
It's a common thing to use here in the States as well.
Yeah.
For lice.
When I was in public school, that happened on a regular. Every 6 months, somebody would have head lice, and they would go through with the rid and combs and shave everybody down.
Yeah, it's one of the main things you do. I mean, modern day lice treatment, it's pretty it's like chemically, it'll burn your fucking scalp as you use it. But yeah, the other thing as well, when it comes to Zyklon B, it can be administered as a gas, but it also is explosive. Okay. And they say that's what was being used in the gas chamber. But yet, as an electrician, I can tell you that they have to use certain types of light bulbs and certain types of fixtures to make it so that they're airtight and gas tight. Otherwise, it will cause a fucking explosion.
Right. And they had wooden
And they did-
doors with no seals.
Yeah, and
Square
there's
framed
windows.
windows. Square framed windows. No
Yeah,
gas. And worst of all, no ventilation to clear the room in order to make it safe to go in there and remove the bodies and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Well, they gave gas masks. That's all they needed.
Shit. No evidence
Well,
of cyanide gas on the masonry inside the brick or anything else.
So then why are we buying
yeah,
this story again? That's my question.
Oh, here's something you got to understand too. These Holocaust survivors, because of this bullshit narrative, right? Now there's fewer of them now than there were, and every day there are less. But in order to be considered a Holocaust survivor, you have to be a Jew that lived in occupied Europe during World War II, not even having been in a camp. And they get a check, a reparation check for this every month.
Yeah.
Now,
oh wow,
they're starting to die off, and there's less of these checks coming in all the time. And they actually, here a couple of years ago, tried to float this idea through that the offspring and descendants should still get the check because the horror of the Holocaust had been passed down genetically. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
well, here's something else that's very interesting. If you ask someone, hey, do you know what the Holocaust is? Just any random person.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, yeah. And then they'll tell you, like, oh, yeah, a big bad thing happened over in Germany in World War II.
Yeah.
Then you ask them, what? Do you know what the Holodomor is? They're like, huh?
No, they don't.
Nope, no fucking clue. And that was an actual real thing that happened.
Well, thing about it is, why is it called a Holocaust? We had millions exterminated and murdered in Cambodia in what were called the killing fields during the Khmer Rouge reign over what they called later Kampuchea. We don't call that a Holocaust. We don't call the murder of people by Pol Pot a Holocaust. We don't even call Stalin's purge a Holocaust. Why is this term used for this supposed event? Well, I'll tell you. It's because Holocaust means sacrifice or burnt offering. And it goes back to a prophecy that the Jews will return to Israel minus 6 million. So this is why they had this 6 million. They were trying to float 6 million during World War I, before World War I, between World War I and World War II. They have always been trying to float this 6 million shit so that they could create the fulfillment of this prophecy, which they finally did through coercion and criminality by 1948.
So what book is this in? So I've never heard it.
What's that? One of their little Jew books or whatever, the Talmud. I don't know.
One of their little Jew books. I love Got a sound clip that one.
I've never read it.
There's some kind of a thing where the Jews are supposed to return to Israel minus 6 million. So that's why they're always flying around with the 6 million bullshit. But the thing is like we were initially said, is that why was we looking at your pencil, man?
Oh no, sorry.
Oh, I just thought you were showing us something. That's all.
No. No, I was just moving my.
So you got to ask yourself, why are they calling this? Why was that a sacrifice? Well, what happened shortly after that event or that supposed event?
Mm-hmm.
Within 3 years, we had the creation of Israel. We go back to the founding father of modern political Zionism, Theodore Herzl, an atheist, who said that it is important we must increase the suffering of the Jew. The anti-Semite will become our greatest ally in achieving our dream of a Jewish homeland.
I read that.
Admit that my father's birthday actually is on the birth of Israel. Actually, 1940.
wow.
Yeah, no. He did the math when he was younger. When I was younger, and he's like, Israel was born on my birthday. Like, I didn't know. God, yeah.
It was born of terrorism. Yeah. I hope your father was not.
No, he's not a terrorist.
Okay, so that's cool. That's something they got not in common.
Yeah, he was a Navy man, military man. So
check this out.
What percentage of the U.S. military is Jewish? Does anyone know? Anyone know? Less than 0.1%. Do you know how many Jews are billionaires in America? Anyone know? Over 40% of Americans billionaires are Jewish. It's 1% of the population. 0.1% serve in the very military of the wars they're starting. So is that because they're so smart that they don't even fight in the wars they start? Guys, there's thousands of people right now listening to this. Those people will tell people who tell people who tell people. The gig is up. Oh, but that sounds anti-Semitic. Want to know what's more important to me than your stupid fucking bullshit word like anti-Semitic? Providing for my family. No one cares anymore. These warriors that come home from these foreign wars that they shouldn't have fought in, that we're fighting for Israel, that blow their fucking brains out in the parking lot of their VA because no one can figure out how to heal their moral injury in their mind. You think they give a shit about being called anti-Semitic on fucking Facebook? Fuck you.
Damn. I used to clean a VA center, and there were actually people trying to commit suicide by taking the trash bag liners out of the trash cans and putting it over their head and suffocating themselves in the bathroom, dude. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah.
I want to thank Fuzzy Booger for your donation. That was really kind of you. Thank you so much. What was this thing here? Oh, that's dumb. Oh my God. Could you imagine being on this plane right here? This, no way. No way I would be able to handle this flight. Check this out. Whoops. There we go.
Everybody sitting. Yes. Why? What's going on? Everybody sitting. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That plane has to smell lovely.
That's what I was thinking, dude. That's exactly what I was thinking. Here you go. This is God's chosen people. There they are. All their glory.
I'm gonna get going in a little bit here, but
yeah, I'm getting ready to shut it down, man. I've been going over 3 hours, and
yeah. So when it comes to VA hospitals, I have worked at all three of the major VA hospitals here in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, and the main one that I worked at was in Menlo Park. So there was no emergency services there, but it was about once per year where a veteran would commit suicide on purpose just to make a point. And that's where we had a psych ward, we had the old people home, and then people that were on hospice, and a dental facility, and then hearing, and blah blah blah, a whole bunch of different stuff. But it was basically a long-term type of situation where veterans, they would commit suicide on the place where we were trying to prevent that.
Wow.
And what we had to do, me as an electrician, at one point we had to take apart all of the face plates for receptacles and switches, because they were plastic, but you can break and like slice your fucking wrist and shit like that. So we had to replace them with this special like neoprene type of stuff. It's like rubber plastic kind of stuff. You can't snap it. And we had to replace every single one of those. And then people that were on like suicide watch and stuff like that. And it's a deep, dark avenue of a story to go into. But
it's very dark.
Yeah, it is. But there's a correlation to it, though. And regardless of someone that actually saw combat or not, it doesn't matter. The one thing that all veterans have in common are the fucking injections that we were forced to take.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking that, man.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, with the trash bags in the VAs there, we didn't put them in the public side or in the restrooms at the VA that they used. The only with the trash bags we put in there were just for the bio stuff, and we weren't allowed to put them in there because people were killing themselves with trash bags. Dude, they were suffocating themselves. You had 3 people at that one VA clinic alone that killed themselves in Flagstaff.
I need to ask Ryan. I need to ask Ryan a question here, Ryan. Why are they against the ox? I don't understand it. I've seen there's that kind of thing around here. I saw they have some anti-ox churches, and I'm just wondering why these people are so against ox.
That's a good question.
Maybe you could help me with that. Anyway, I got to shut this thing down. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm heading out. Thank you very much, everyone.
Right on, Andrew. Thanks for popping on, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, and hope everyone has a wonderful day. And
Fantastic.
yeah, just don't get the jab. Otherwise,
Yeah, don't. Right. Stay away from that shit. God needed that shit in your body. You would have put it in there when you was born. So
great show tonight, Saab. Very enlightening. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on. Everybody that showed up in the chat, we had a lot of people. We were over 200 here tonight. That is fucking badass. And over in my Rumble side, what happened to my Rumble side here? Dadgummit. Oh, that's right. I had that crash out. Let me get over here real quick just for a second. Does your Rumble make you prove that you're a human?
Every once in a while it does.
Mine does it every fucking time I refresh, man.
Yeah, YouTube does that more to me than Rumble does.
Let me see.
Don't ask me why. And I pay for premium. I give them like $12 a month for that crap.
Oh,
so they can check, see if I'm a human.
All right. Well, at least that's handy, you know.
Yeah. Away.
Yeah, everybody who's donated to the show, I really appreciate that. We've had a few people here tonight. And if you're interested in donating to support the show, PayPal is listed down in the description of the video, and Cash App's scrolling across the screen. My email is listed up here as well. So Derek, Roger, everybody that showed up, Party Pal guy that showed up with his idea, I'll gladly await that donation. That, you know, like somebody pointed out, for somebody with $5 million, man, it's only like $1,000 is only like $40 to somebody who's got 200,000. So.
Well, and to touch on that real fast, if I may, it's like, well, then, didn't he say he can only give like $50?
I don't know, man. Something like that.
It's like, well, if he's going to try to prove his point, well, then give something. Show us you're actually getting $5 million somehow.
Right. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Well,
yeah,
Ryan's going to look further into it a little bit too. I'm looking forward to seeing his piece on it. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Like I always like to say, don't forget the Lord loves a working man. Never, ever, ever trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him because he'll probably fucking kill you. And if you heard the shot, it probably wasn't meant for you. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Good night, everybody.